GM. We're live, and we are in a dog bowl waiting room, waiting for 3. If anyone wants to hop on in. It is a beautiful, beautiful Thursday morning. Football is back. Week 7 officially starts. Here we are. We've didn't have too much news on the injury front. I think there are, though, a couple of fantasy relevant things cropped up. The first one is Jakobi Meyers appeared on the injury report, did not practice. I believe they listed it as an ankle/foot, if I'm not mistaken. But, there was nothing to indicate from the game anything happened. He was held out. There have been rumors swirling of a possible Jakobi Meyers trade. So it's something we're going to want to keep an eye on as the week moves on. Right now, it does make Trey Tucker a little bit intriguing in the 12-person BRs. I think he was clickable before as one of those deep punts, guy who could get there on low volume. But I think if Myers gets moved, if this smoke turns to fire, then he's one of those guys that's going to move up, from being free in the 6th round to being like a 4th round kind of pick. So somebody, I think, if you want to take a risk, try to get ahead of something, I would consider that. I don't know how much I'm going to get to, but I just want to throw that out there as something a little odd, him cropping up on the injury report. So we'll see what that means for Myers. Could have some downstream effects, could be saving our Jack Betch bags. I'm not clicking Jack Betch in any of the daily formats, but maybe this is good news for our best ball big board bags. Is longer term stuff. Hey, go AZ Cards. Good morning, Wake Up Crew. Good morning to you. Go AZ Cards. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out this morning. Likewise, Joel GM to you says we're drafting a binker today. Hey, I would love that. I would absolutely love to draft something with some legs on stream, or if one of you are in the draft and it ships, that would be awesome too. I'd be super pumped to just have someone on stream hit a winner here. Greg says GM to all, happy Thursday. Hey, GM to you, Greg. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Fellow long-suffering Dolphins fan, true friend of the program. Go AZ Cards. The slate feels like the Super Chalk Game stacks will hit, and you don't want to stray too far off and be interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the main chalk stack is this Dallas, Washington. We see a ton of them get drafted in these contests. I mean, you have both of the primary Dallas receivers. You have Ferguson. So you got 3 pass catchers go every time. Dak goes early. Javonte goes early. And then on the Washington side, again, same thing. You got Krosky, Merritt, 2 pass catchers with Debo going. McLaurin's drafted every time, at least in the 12 persons. And Zach Ertz is a fringe. I think he's drafted in the 12s most of the time. I guess he's tight end 9, meaning occasionally no one will snag him, but I think he's probably taken more often than not. But yeah, definitely that's the one chalk game. The other game that I really like is this New Orleans Chicago game. To me, that's super fun. Someone asked yesterday who I thought the key to the slate would be. I think it's Rome Odunze. I'm going to stick with that being someone I'm going to try to get more heavily exposed on. I don't know how much I have of him in the 12 persons. I hope I have more than I think I do, but I think when I've been over on this, I've gotten a lot of picks in the 10-12 range. I tend to do one running back in Odunze, or just going receiver Odunze, and kind of hoping that one of these late round scroll running backs can keep pace with the higher end ones. But really like Odunze. I like some of the ancillary pieces there too. I don't think you could, I would not fault anyone for taking the Olave or Shaheed side of things in that game as well. Greg says the Waddle trade rumors really got me down, Chad. Not gonna lie, Phillips too. Yeah, it seems like Miami is circling the drain. I'd hate to see Waddle go. Really, fan favorite. You hate to see a team trade a guy who sold a lot of jerseys, and I'm I think it says a lot. Like, people go out of their way, they support the player. It's a lot of people's favorite player. When we had Hill and Waddle, I think a lot of people preferred Waddle. I mean, Hill with all the off the field stuff. Waddle for all of his little injury stuff that would crop up, did put himself out there for this team that hasn't been going anywhere in years, and would be a big bummer to lose a very talented young receiver. But I mean, it's clear we're not going anywhere for a while, so I get it if we have to move him, but it would be a big bummer. Kalen Clark MVP GM, what's your take on Myers? I was thinking they would showcase him this week to trade him. Yeah, I opened with that because it is interesting. He missed practice yesterday, and there's definitely a little bit of smoke out there that he could be on the move, and so we'll see why he was held out. Is he truly dealing with something? Is he dealing with something super minor, but maybe they're close to moving him and they're just playing it super cautious? I don't know that they need to put much more on tape for Myers. I feel like the league kind of knows what he is. Maybe you're right. They would love to get one more big, maybe they want to get him a big game because, he hasn't really shown that this season and show that he could still do it. But I don't know how much that would really move the needle among the general managers of the league, but it does seem like something we'd kind of, I don't want to say fantasized about, but we kind of thought was live to happen, at some point with them drafting Jack Betch, who did appear to be almost a 1-for-1 replacement. It's not surprising that they might be trying to move Myers, but it does seem like we weren't really expecting it to happen, and it's kind of cropped up a little bit out of nowhere, at least to me. I just kind of thought that Betch was maybe seen to be taking over next year, and it was more of a project. But yeah, I don't know. Steven says, GM chat, everyone. Hey, Steven, thanks for coming in, hanging out. Go AZ Cards got Shaheed in the 6th in a DBQ yesterday. Crazy he fell with wide receiver standing out. Yeah, you could get him in the 6th when the contest opened, but I think now that's got to be pretty hard. His ADP is the late 40s? No, it's 52. Okay, so 52. Yeah, he'll go in the last round sometimes, but I agree. I think I think that seems late for one of those guys who could win you the week or win you a seat kind of picks, and especially with how popular the Bears side of things are with Odunze, Caleb. They kind of make a natural pairing, and a lot of people just like that bring back if you want to play the game to shoot out. I guess the only thing is sometimes people like to build late stacks. I've seen Rattler go in the 12 persons. I've actually seen some really sharp drafters taking Rattler. Rattler's a guy I struggle to get to, and maybe that's a leak. Maybe I need to consider him more. But he's not a guy I'm like, okay, I'm gonna end my draft with Shaheed Rattler. But I see the vision. It's just we haven't really seen those ceiling game out of Rattler yet for me to want to prioritize that. Nicholas Joseph, GM chat and chat. Hey, GM to you. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out. I truly appreciate the support here. I was hoping this one would have launched by the time we got rolling here, but we're hanging out. Chris says, GM Candles, after traveling a couple days, work not fun. I'm back to support the stream. 12 added. Yeah, we did. We got 12 subs in the last 2 days. We got past 150, and we're on the road to 300. It's so cool. I really appreciate all of your support. It has been nothing short of phenomenal. It means so much that y'all would come in, hang out in the morning, rip some drafts, talk some football. It is so much fun to do this. Nicholas Joseph's looking like a fun week in the underdog streets. Yeah, I think it's a fun week. I actually like I kind of like the 6-person slate this week more than I liked it last week. I think you could go a ton of different ways. I think the QBs are all really interesting. I mean, when you can do Hurts, AJ Brown stacks in the 4th, 5th round, 5th, 6th round, that's kind of fun. I mean, there is the 12 persons, the depth is not there, but for some reason I feel like the 6 persons you can get a little bit different. There's a lot of room for creativity this week. Gunnar Ross, GM. Appreciate you. Had some fun drafting with you yesterday. We'll see if you're able to hop in any of these today. Tim says, I think we see Henderson and Ramondre eat this week. Vrabel will not stop scoring points until the clock runs out. Complete and total domination. That's certainly been a pretty prevailing thought, Tim. I hear that. And so I have been taking pieces of that game. I feel like I keep like missing Henderson by one pick in dog bowls. He is in his own like weird tier. If we look at the way the dog bowls go, you kind of go, Vidal is the end of that like first tier where you're like, okay, I feel like reasonably good about this. Kamara, I've been taking Kendre because I think we could also see the similar thing where Kendre starts to flip Kamara, and Dennis Allen's the defensive coordinator for Chicago. So if I'm scrolling into the depths of Moria for running backs, I need any kind of narrative to take a running back with ADP of 71. But I could see them wanting to get Kendre in the box to stick it to his old coach who really treated him poorly. But anyway, that's just a little bit offbeat. I wouldn't be taking Kendre hand over fist. That's just something I've been doing, and I would feel bad if all of you aped into that and it went to 0. But I'll just tell you what I'm doing. So where you have Ramondre here at 55, Pacheco was down here in the late 60s. So now this tier of 1 has become kind of a tier of 2. So if you're looking for running back, you'll sometimes see Ramondre go a little bit ahead of this 55 because, until people felt better about Pacheco's been getting some steam. I think I need to credit G for Gumby on his stream. He talked about Pacheco, or I can't remember if it was him or his guest, but anyway, they discussed it. So we've seen Pacheco come up a bit, and I certainly see the vision. He's been taking more and more from Hunt. At least he did last week. We don't think that the Raiders are going to put up a ton of resistance. High team total, high octane offense, and you can get your primary running back at pick 58. Rashard Smith is hurt. I definitely don't mind Pacheco late. I think Pacheco late is an intriguing clip. He also could stink because he's Pacheco and he doesn't have like a ton of juice, but that's why these running backs are available in the running back thirsty contest at pick 58, is because it's not very comfortable. Greg says it's nice to see momentum build. How did After Dark go? After Dark is on Saturday. Pete, I'm so lucky. Pete asked me to be on his After Dark show Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I will be there, and so I can't wait. But yeah, it has not happened yet. That is a Saturday night. Go Easy Cards. I may have a Rattler share, so the donators are taking. All right, well, it's a cross section of people. It's a whole cross section of folks there. Slayton is asking what redraft. This is a dog bowl qualifier, and we're waiting for one. So if anyone wants to hop in, feel free. We can fill this one. Again, I would have run a BR before this, but I really thought we were going to fill quickly. Steven says, I've seen QBs going undrafted like Caleb, Herbert, May, not in the same draft. Yeah, the 6 persons. Let me see. If I go to rankings, I guess while we're waiting here, if we go to the QBs, right, like the sixth quarterback is Caleb, which means that if anybody decides to stack Herbert or Jones or take an unstacked Fields Mason or Love, like all of these guys are very live to get taken, and even down to Nix, even down to unstacked Dart, which would push one of these top 6 to be undrafted. So it is kind of fun. I mean, I think May will get drafted more often than not, but then you hit this Caleb here. I don't know. And Jalen Hurts at pick 27. I mean, I know Minnesota's a tough defense, but man, Jalen Hurts has a monster ceiling. So it's a cool week. You can really do a lot of different stuff. You can get unique at quarterback. I mean, you can. I guess I've gone too far here, but I think some of these guys. I mean, Dart could be kind of fun. We've seen the rushing upside. Bo Nix has been down, but the Giants defense, I don't think it's going to pose too many problems. He's fairly easy to stack with Sutton. If you want to take a punt on Ingram, that kind of stuff, like Ingram's, nobody's taking him. If you want to do that, I'm kind of low on Ingram, but I mean, my God, you literally have to scroll to get to Evan Ingram in a 6-person BR. Like, you can do a lot of stuff that people simply aren't doing, and if you hit that right low owned combo, you're off to the races. Oh no, where am I? Oh my gosh, I'm in the 11 hole. All right. For those of you who were not with us yesterday, we did 3 of these drafts, and I think I had like the 10th pick once and the 12th pick twice, and I really want to do a draft with you all on the left side of the board. And yet again, we're over on the right side, but that's okay. That is okay. We will soldier on. But Hey, GM Jake Binninger, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out. Ingle X12, GM to you. I have seen you in the Dog Bowl streets. I so appreciate you coming over and hanging out. Although I'm realizing that is a lowercase L and not an I. I have always thought you were Ingle with an I, and now I'm thinking it might be Lingle. My whole world has just shattered. My whole world has just shattered, and it's based on the YouTube revealing it as an L, or you said it as an L, and I'm just confused. Anyway, good morning to you. Thank you so much for coming in. Gunnar Ross is trapped. Yeah, I see you at the 12. I see you at the 12. We'll try to hopefully we can get along well over there. Why did the ducks stop? The ducks just stopped. I don't know why. All right. Well, we'll do a little night driving. Maybe that's a sign we got to lock in. Yeah, Joel got you covered with the left. Yes, let's see who is in the room. We got Joel at the 1. We got Mathology in at the 6. Super sharp drafter, friend of the show as well. Mathology here. We'll keep an eye on him. Definitely knows what he's doing. Tubin's fellow. He won a seat to the Dog Bowl week 1, I believe. Buster's boy, sharp drafter in all of these rooms. We'll keep an eye on him. So I got a tough road to hoe here between him and Gunnar Ross in here. We will see what we can do. Steven says, I have no idea how the slots are selected. I got the 1 position 6 times in a row. Yeah, no. People love to complain about the RNG on Underdog, and I am of no exception. It always feels like somehow all of us are treated unfairly, but maybe you're hogging all the luck there, Steven, getting the 1 hole. I think this week the 1 and 2 do have a big edge over. I think especially in the 6 persons over like picks 3 and 4. I think there's a big gap after Taylor and Jacobs down to A-Chain, Barkley, Judkins, and I think the projections agree with that. Obviously, the games are played on the field, and one of those guys could outscore Taylor or Jacobs, but pre-flop, I certainly prefer getting one of those two to some of the options later. Chris noting the ducks, or Greg saying the ducks are ducking on our end. All right, I'll catch back up with chat once we make our picks over here. All right. I'm deciding what I want to do because there's been a lot of changes, right? Rico Dowdle, we just learned that Chuba Hubbard is going to play, and it might be some kind of split backfield. So this ADP of 10 feels a little high and possibly fake. So we're going to have to see if we want to do that. CD Lamb announced that he's likely playing. I expected him to rise. So, I mean, if he's there at pick 11, we probably want to go that direction. We're just going to have to see what Buster Boys does. So he takes Rashee Rice. Oh, man. This is a tough choice because, I mean, I think in my heart of hearts, I prefer Odunze to all of them. I'm gonna live my truth. I'm gonna take Odunze here, and I can live with one of these running backs, and we'll see what Gunnar Ross wants to do. But this is a tough spot. Like, I like Lamb. Maybe I should take him in case he actually is going at 8, or in the top 7, 8, and ADP just hasn't caught up yet. But I like the possibility of Odunze being the kind of unquestioned one against the Saints in a very back and forth matchup. All right, so we're back on the clock. I mean, I do love Scatabo. I don't have as much Krosky merit as I probably should. So let's go Odunze Krosky merit here on this particular team. Gunnar Ross, he went Lamb Dowdle. I think that's perfectly reasonable there. Even if Dowdle ends up in a timeshare, he almost has to take the lion's share of the backfield. But I don't know. It's become a riskier click than it was half a day ago, I feel like. All right, let's catch up with chat here. Chris noting, my last 12 of Eliminator still hanging on. I need a lot of Pickens Fergusons if I'm going to make it. Yeah, I got lucky in my Eliminators. We'll go over that after this, but I have an opponent who has Cook on bye, and then their second running back is Connor, and I think their third running back is like Brian Robinson. So if it's like, man, if I can't win this week with somebody missing their top three, I think he only has like 2 healthy running backs who can even score points, and one's like Robinson. It's pretty bad for them. So I may have gotten a little run good there, but we'll see. Their receivers are good. Yeah, the Ducks were ducking there, Greg. I'll pull. Yeah, Chris, I'll pull up my eliminator after the Dog Bowl. Maybe I should have done that while we were trying to fill this. Hey, Brian the Goober, GM to you. I believe I was crediting you for the rise of Pacheco, discussing that on the Gumby on Gumby show. If that's not you and you're like, what the hell are you talking about? I apologize, but I feel like you were the one who was touting Pacheco and opened my third eye to that. But regardless, appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Means a lot to have you all hanging out here. Mythology, thanks for filling the room. Chad was waiting for over an hour. Yeah, it filled. I joined and thought it was going to fill quickly, and we still had to wait like 15 minutes from when we went live here. But yeah, we might have some auto drafters in here, something to always keep an eye on. Steven says, I have never played the Dog Bowl. Seems like fun, but we'll need to read the masterclass. Practice the $3.12 man. Yeah, it's tough to jump into these, Steven. People are very sharp. You also, I would recommend watching the people that stream these, and I'm not just saying that because I stream them and I want people to watch, but the ADPs can be fake, especially at the beginning of the week. So if you trust ADP, you're going to have a bad time. They port the ADPs from the 12-person playbooks, which are super low liquidity, and people do weird stuff. So in the first like 2-3 days of the Dog Bowl, the ADPs haven't truly adjusted. So you can look and say, oh, this player will be available in like the 5th round, and they go in the 3rd, and they'll go in the 3rd every time until the ADP adjusts. So just the streets are tough, but the masterclass is a absolutely fantastic place to get started. But yeah, it does make sense to try to like do some of those other contests and watch some of these people who stream, so you can get a feel of like what the boards actually look like, because ADP can be a little squirrely. Slade, and I have Tootin and Marks on my bench. Someone dropped RJ Harvey. I can say I'm fully living the Spider-Man. Yeah, man. I feel like I'd take Harvey over Marks, but like you said, it is. As I said it out loud, I'm like, I don't know if I believe that. That's a tough choice. I guess my problem is I really thought Marks would have like completely iced out Chubb, but he kind of hasn't, and I don't know. That is tough. That is tough. But it's clear RJ Harvey has not like taken over the backfield like we thought. Jordan's last eliminator has Puka Egbuka. Oh man, you gotta maybe you'll have some run good, because if you survive a couple 2-3 weeks, maybe you're much less likely to run into other Puka Egbuka teams. Sophie's Choice, what a tough scene to watch her. Yeah, it's a tough decision. Brian DeGoo. Yes, that's me. Appreciate the show. No, hey, if you guys don't subscribe to G for Gumby, you actually absolutely should. Brian, super sharp drafter on there. Again, I watched it and I learned something. I've been taking Pacheco. So if it works out, remember me telling you about Pacheco. If it doesn't, we can assign blame accordingly. So really appreciate that from you, Brian. All right, I'm coming up. I got to lock in, and then I will catch up with the chat. So we got a receiver, running back. We've seen 3 quarterbacks go. I'll review folks' teams after I make my pick, but I do want to think about this just a hair. All right, so Ferguson goes, which sort of takes off the board the possibility for doing a Dak Fergie kind of thing. In all likelihood, Caleb will come to me. I think it'd be a little odd for someone to take unstacked Caleb ahead of Hurts and Dak, but people can do what they like. If Hurts falls to me, I could do something like Hurts Devonta, which I think is kind of fun. I think that's a little bit fun. If Olave comes to me, I could potentially take Olave and try to push Caleb around the turn. I'm more likely to do that if Dak's on the board, because again, it would be odd for the Lamb drafter to take unstacked Caleb over stacked Dak. But once again, We can't count on things. There's some good receivers in this range, Diggs, Worthy. So we're gonna have to make some decisions. This will clear up a lot once these two picks get made. So Worthy's off the table, Dak's off the table. I'm gonna take Olave here. Try to build the game stack. I think I know I could do the game stack with Kamara, but I'm just not all that high on Kamara there. So let's do an Olave team. So we got Odunze, Olave. Hopefully we get Caleb. If we don't get Caleb, maybe we just take Hurts and we say we're going to get different, because almost anyone with Odunze, Olave is going to go Caleb. And so maybe that would differentiate us. So I think we got a couple good options here. My other option, I was going to say, I could have taken Tucker Kraft there because I really like Tucker Kraft this season, but there's enough late tight ends to where I think building this high scoring game stack I'm happy with. So we got Caleb, Krosky, Merritt, Odunze, and Olave, and that is what we've got. Let me catch up with chat, and then we'll start looking at some people's teams. Jake says, I have Neighbors, Wilson, MHJ on my last. Yeah, that's tough, man. The injury bug is crushed a lot of teams there. That was the last part of my post. I watched the others in 6 minutes. Gotcha. Yeah. No, again, I mean, it's great how many people are doing these streams and are willing to like talk through their process. The Badge Bro shows you absolutely should watch. I mean, they do a game by game breakdown and then they rip some drafts, and it's absolutely worth tuning in there. Gunnar Ross, Masterclass is crazy. Will make you think different. Yep. I mean, so many people have gotten seats or won BRs or had high cashes after watching it, because it does help you like learn to think. You know, it's just very evergreen content, and it is pretty cool. Slayton says, I think my tiebreaker is Woody Marks because it's more likely the Texans actually bring in an RB like Singletary, Bigsby, Hall, where the Broncos or Jags. That's a fair point. It's also possible, and this is a name, I don't even know if you're allowed to say it anymore, but Joe Mixon. Like, what if Joe Mixon comes back? I don't think he will. I think he's done. But like, I don't know. What if he comes back like week 12? That would be really bad for Marks. I don't know. I think holding on to any hope of Joe Mixon is kind of crazy. But we just don't know anything other than it sounds like he got some kind of botched surgery is like the rumor. I don't know. Anyway, they do have another running back that probably would be very bad for Woody Marks on the roster. It just seems like nobody knows what's going on there. All right, let's see what our friends and family are doing. We've caught up with chat. Oh, no, we haven't, because Lutz said GM. GM to you, Lutz. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Also, by the way, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel out. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna do the time codes here, but let's see if we can't get the time codes going, because I think people do appreciate those. Intro is about 10 minutes. I'll put 10 minutes. DBQ1. All right, sweet. All right, cool. All right, so let's see what our friends and family did. Gunnar Ross, he's got Lamb, Dowdle, Kraft, and Hurts. Yeah, I like that team quite a bit. I like all these pieces individually. Buster's boys, he goes Rice, Genty, Dak, and Diggs. So not afraid to take the unstacked. Dak there. Where did Pickett? So Pickens fell all the way to 21. That's very interesting because his ADP is significantly higher than that, but. The Pickens drafter prioritized Mason over Dak. I can't say I disagree with that. You see, after Mason, the next running back drafted from pick 28 all the way to Kamara at 42. So it's definitely a big tier break here. This Vidal, Dobbins, Mason, people are taking them in kind of whatever order, but they're sort of the last three. There's kind of the last three you see go after Scatabo. I think normally there's a little bigger gap between Scatabo and then this Vidal, Mason, Dobbins tier, but in this draft they're all kind of bunched up. All right, Mathology. So he immediately builds a Daniels Debo stack, and then with Waddle and Fannin, another game stack there. I really like Fannin. You know, you used to be able to get him in the 5th, 6th round reliably. Now he's going in the 4th. I don't think that's wrong. I think between the Njoku injury, the Dolphins defense and Gabriel, definitely liking throwing to tight ends, and also Fannin in particular. I like that. I like that start there. And then Mr. Worth, let's see what he's up to. He's got JT, Scatabo, Sutton, and then builds a Love-Dobbs connection there over on the left side of the board. Yeah, I like that. Love is an odd duck. Sometimes you'll see him go as the last pick. People in these dog bowls, some of my past dog bowls, people have really stayed in their lanes. This draft, we have not seen that. We've got Mahomes went unstacked, Dak went unstacked, Hurts went unstacked. Hurts being unstacked is a little different because he doesn't line up like perfectly with his pass catchers. You've either got to pull Devontae up or pull Hurts over to AJ Brown, and also you don't really need to stack Hurts, but just kind of interesting because I've seen Love go here at like this pick at the very end of the board, or even later in the 6th round to either the craft drafter or somebody doing you see people able to do Golden Love sometimes in the 5th to 6th round. So it's kind of interesting how the rooms can vary quite a bit, especially with how people play quarterback. All right, we're coming up. What do we want to do? Shaheed would be kind of intriguing to overstack the game, I would say. I don't know if I want to do that. We're going to need a tight end. Tight end is very deep this week. Let's see what Buster's... I have a feeling Buster's Boys is going to take Pacheco. If he doesn't, then I am going to take Pacheco. If Pacheco's gone, then I have to decide. I mean, I could take Luther Burden and double stack Caleb. I don't love that, but I don't hate it either. Marvin Harrison goes. I think we talked about this before. Let's just take this Pacheco plunge. I think this is kind of nice, and then we'll have a tight end du jour. I know some people like double tight end this week. I'm not one of them. Obviously, Gunnar Ross, if he wants to do Hurts Goddard, he could. I don't know that I would take Goddard over these receiver options. I think this is the one case where I wouldn't get too mad at somebody for doing it. But that's I still don't think that's the direction I would go. I like the Judy click. Judy showed up on the injury report, but I don't really know why. We really don't have any color into precisely what happened there. Normally I would scroll for a tight end, but I mean, this Dallas Goedert usage is kind of insane. So I'm not going to get creative. Did we build a team that could be slightly, I don't want to say dupey, because I don't think you really run into too many dupes in the dog bowl, but we didn't get very adventurous there. But I mean, they're just trying to get Dallas Goedert the ball a lot, and they run that stupid pop pass near the end zone. So yeah, I mean, Mason Taylor, Michael Mayer, I love those guys. I like Gadsden. I think I take plenty of him, but with Dallas Goedert staring at me, I will make that plunge. So this team ends up being Odunze, Krosky Merritt, Olave, Caleb, Pacheco, and Dallas Goedert. I like that team. Gunnar Ross, what does he do? He goes Lamb, Dowdle, Kraft, Hurts, Judy, and Shaheed. Judy, Shaheed are two of my favorite late round receiver clicks. Picking on the Dolphins, I love. Building out this game environment in Chicago, I also like. Obviously, I wish this game was in New Orleans, but I think the weather is not meant to be any kind of an issue there. So we'll see. Yeah, taking Olave and X Wall. First of all, thanks for coming in, hanging out. You touch on something. It is a little scary drafting Olave because you could run into a midweek trade and then he doesn't play. I'm pretty sure if that happens, you get a swap. But it's, if I have to swap from a 3rd round pick to like a dumpster receiver, it's not great, but it certainly is live. It certainly is live to happen. Joel says, I've already got a Love Golden DBQ stack. Got to diversify. Yeah, I think that makes a ton of sense. All right. So we looked at Gunnar Ross's team. Buster Boys ends his team with MHJ and Waller. MHJ did limited practice, which does give him a chance to play on Sunday if he can clear concussion protocol. Feels like it'd be a little fast, especially early in the season. It's been weird. I swear, early in the season, since they've done the concussion protocol stuff, it's like it takes at least a week to clear, and by the end of the year, it's like they're through it in under a week. Like, it feels like they speed it up at the end of the season. So I don't know. I'd be surprised to see him. I feel like it's early enough to where they're gonna make him miss, but like, who knows? Maybe MHA plays. Worst cases though, this is late enough to where you can play the Q taggy kind of stuff. Tubins, he builds Pittman, Daniel Jones. I would be alert to this, especially if Josh Downs showed up on the in the concussion protocol as well. So it sounds like Downs might not play. I think Pittman, this Pittman Warren Jones stack that Tubins built, that could really consolidate the Colts offense there, especially if it's not like a Jonathan Taylor week where he's getting all the touchdowns. I think that's kind of a fun build there. A Mathology, what does he do? See, he knows. He takes Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce, huge spike week guy, and Downs looks like he's trending towards not playing. So, yeah, that is pretty cool there. I like the Alec Pierce click. I have not seen him taken. So he goes Daniels, Debo, Waddle, Fannin, Ramondre, and Alec Pierce. Again, I like this Alec Pierce click. He's kind of like Colt Shaheed. Like, it's like the same bet. And with Downs out, I don't know how. I mean, to be honest, I don't know how much Downs out affects that, because I think Pierce is pretty locked in 2 wide receiver sets, but it could just be like less target competition, not like a playing time issue, but a target competition issue. So regardless, like the Alec Pierce click there, and then J Dubs ends his team with Dobbs and Gadsden. Yeah, I love the Gadsden. I mean, he seems like he's taken over the tight end 1 role in LA, and what do you have, like 9 targets last game? I like that. He's not going to be 100% owned, so I feel like as a pick 72, that's fun. Notably, we did have one person go double elite tight end. I don't love this. Oh, we had 2 people do it. Look at that. We had Trey McBride go with Hunter Henry and Ferguson and Taylor. I really wouldn't do it. I don't even think I would have liked if Gunnar Ross took Goddard, but it would have been like kind of defensible. But I don't know. To me, it feels almost like you're trying to like. I feel like if you take Goddard, it's like, oh, I wish I'd taken a receiver instead of Kraft, and now I'm trying to like undo that a little bit. So I think Gunnar Ross played this how I would have done it. I just think it's kind of weird to take Mason Taylor for this player who already had Ferguson, and it's like, yeah, you got Hunter Henry, or you got Drake May, and Hunter Henry fell to you. I don't know, like taking McBride ahead of Pickens, Ladd, and AJ Brown, and then taking another tight end. I don't know. It just feels a little galaxy brain, but who knows? It is a very good tight end week, as we see, a very good tight end week. Gunnar Ross saying next dog bowl is only 3 away. Wish I took Pittman at 4. Yeah, I like the Pittman click. All right. We'll do another dog bowl today, but I think I'm going to try to hop into a main BR now. Just because I think I want to do about 3 dog bowls on stream, and I don't want to peak too early. And also, in all likelihood, I'm going to be in a room with like exactly the same people if I run the very next one. And so we'll see if we can't get some different crowd in there. So this is a main BR if anyone wants to hop in. Let me adjust the time codes here. Awesome. All right, waiting for 1. If anyone wants to get in, please do so. Whoops. All right. We're good, and we're off, and we're at the 3. Oh man. All right. We got some friends and family here. We got Sladen at the 2. We got B Grandy at the 4. If anyone else is in here, please let me know. But we also have, most importantly, we got Emo Cowboy. We got Emo Cowboy asking, how's everybody doing? Emo Cowboy, we're doing great here, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate your support. If y'all don't sub to the Fantasy Sanctuary and the Toxic Tower, you all should. I believe the Toxic Tower it's on tonight, right? Thursday night? Am I wrong? Did I make that up? Anyway, I don't mean to spread fake news, Emo Cowboy, but you all should definitely subscribe to Emo Cowboy stuff because he puts out lots of great content. True friend to the best ball and daily community. So appreciate you coming in, hanging out today with us, Emo Cowboy. All right, we're coming up at the 3. Do we just go with ADP and take A-Chain? Probably. Let's do A-Chain. My preference will probably be like A-Chain or Dunze, but again, the ADP gets so scrambled here. We're gonna have to see if that's the way things end up. I said I was gonna go over Eliminator. Let me do Eliminator after this. Let me do Eliminator after this one. I think that makes sense because people do like the Eliminator stuff. I think I got a little bit of run good this week, but you never know. I thought I was gonna get smoked last week, and we survived largely due to Puka getting hurt. I think if Puka put up a normal game, I was probably coin flipping at best to survive. So again, we got a little lucky last week to dodge that one. All right, let's do a Dunze here. I know Lamb might continue to rise, but I have said I think Dunze is the key to the slate here. Thursday for Toxic Tower before the season started. Now it's whenever we're free since PPR coaches and they play on Thursday. I'm pretty sure they will miss this week with me in Japan because of, oh my goodness, the Toxic Tower facing a crisis. Well, no, those are all understandable reasons. PPR Tyler, another great streamer, does a lot of awesome best ball stuff. He's also coaches high school football, so a hand in the dirt ball knower that they have on there. But yes, if your games are on Thursday, that would make streaming on at the same time difficult. Emo Cowboy, enjoy Japan though. I hope that trip is going well. I have never made it out to Japan, but that sounds like it would be a really awesome trip. So I hope you are having fun out there. I assume you're not there now because or it would be really late. I'm not sure what time it would be in Japan. I'm guessing it would be like 7 p.m. or something. I guess that's not an odd time to be online. Anyway, whenever you're out there, I hope you're having fun, and it's really cool. I'd love to hear about your travels there. We got A-Chain, we got a Dunze. Let's do Mahomes. Let's plan on a Mahomes worthy team. I think that's kind of a fun counter to a lot of the Mahomes Rice stuff. I don't think it's going to be unique in any way. I think there's going to be a lot of Mahomes worthy teams out there. I could also do Mahomes Kelsey. My instincts would almost be to just leave Mahomes unstacked. Like part of me thinks that's like how, if you want to get different, what you really should do. But we'll see what the room decides to hand to us. We're seeing the Rico Dowdle free fall. At a certain point, he has to become a good click. I mean, all right, let's try to push Dowdle. I think I would take Dowdle at 27. We're actually going to pass on the worthy stuff. We're going to make an unstacked Mahomes team. Take Cortland Sutton. This is going to end up looking a lot like a 6-leg parlay, but we do want some of those builds in there where you're not like game stacking and team stacking and just trying to like pick the players that are the nuts. You can end up a little bit too heavily trying to correlate stuff and end up chasing your tail a little bit. So I think it's good to in your portfolio have some of these teams where you're going a little far afield. All right, so Rico Dowdle goes. For me, Tucker Kraft is a pretty big tier break into the scrolling tight ends. Yes, I could have taken Kelsey, but I really do like Kraft this week against the Cardinals. The tight end flow chart, like play tight ends against Arizona. Tucker Kraft certainly one of those guys I'd like to take that chance with. So we'll do that, and then we're going to have to make the decision if this drafter here takes Scatabo. I think stick to Scatabo. I think taking Mahomes unstacked here, it's going to make this unique enough to not be super doopy. I also see the vision of taking Mason ahead of Scatabo. I think that's defensible. Really like the Mason. Between Mason having a fairly good matchup, although I think Carter will be back for the Eagles. So maybe it's a little bit tougher sledding for Mason there. We're going to have to see how the offense works, presumably with McCarthy back in. You know, Scatabo would be on the other side of Sutton here. I think I'm unique enough to where I'm okay with that. So let's see what we ended up with. We got A-Chain, Odunze, Mahomes, Sutton, Kraft, Scatabo. B. Grandy, what did he do? He went Judkins, Daniels, Warren, Brees, and then Waddle. And Worthy, yeah, I like all that. I like Waddle. I like Judkins this week. I think that's kind of fun. That's a game environment I like more than Vegas does. I think it's only like a 40.5 point total, but I do see a world where that game could be like the fun bad game. So we'll see. And then Slayton, he goes Jacobs, Lamb, Dak, AJ Brown, Rico Dowdle, Harold Fannin. Yeah, I actually really like that team. That's a team I would be very, very happy to flip over the cards on Sunday morning and see. This to me is very well constructed. This Lamb at 11. You get Dak, AJ Brown, underpriced. It's like he is obviously live for one of those huge spike weeks, and then you have Dowdle, who people were taking in the first round. Now you're getting him late, and you're taking a fun kind of scroll tight end. So Gunnar Ross asking, is the audio messed up for anyone else? Is the audio messed up? Because I don't know. It shouldn't be. But if it is, let me know. Slayton says, my teams are positively killer until 9:49 a.m. Sunday morning. Oh, super choppy. Okay, hold on. Then I was confused. That part was on me. Are we better? If we're better, let me know. If not, maybe the music. 1.5 speed. Okay, hold on. All right, I'm just gonna turn off the music. Let me know if that fixes it, because sometimes the background music mucks it up. If not, now underwater now. Okay, that'll happen when I change the music. The background better. Okay. All right. We'll leave the music off. We'll leave the music off. That's fine. I hear it kind of ambiently in my head anyway, so it's fine. It's more for me than for you guys, I think. All right. Better with the music off. Okay, we'll do that. Sweet. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, please let me know if I ever sound bad, because I don't actually, hear myself here. So thank you all. Yeah. I don't know. StreamYard can be a little bit squirrely sometimes, especially normally it's when you first turn on the background music that it's bad. So let me pull up the eliminator stuff here. So I started with 47 eliminator teams, and it only puts me at a 62%, which is not great considering, the QB matchups. So I'm over here on the right. I'm really, I got Mahomes, Darnold, and Rodgers versus Dak, McCarthy, and Love. Now, my running back room is not great. We got Chase Brown, Alvin Kamara, Tony Pollard, Cam Scatabo, Isaiah Pacheco, and Woody Marks. So it's like, it's not bad, but it's not great. It's not great, but it's better than over here. James Cook's on bye. James Conner's on IR. Brian Robinson is the backups. And so he's really reliant on Ramondre, Dylan Sampson, maybe anything out of Brian Robinson, and Braylon Allen's on IR. So he only has 3 running backs who can even score. Maybe if Ramondre gets hot, that's some pretty big run bad for me, because I should crush him in the running back department, even with like Chase Brown and Kamara and Pollard feeling like I mean, this is kind of such a funny running back room here. You know, Scatabo being the only one I have any confidence in, and he has a tough matchup. Wide receivers are another story. He's got Jefferson, London, Jason, Olave, and then Downs, who I don't think is going to play, and Romeo Dobbs. So really good wide receivers. Really strong wide receiver room here versus mine. Got some problems. I got Amon-Ra. Garrett Wilson's not going to play. Keon Coleman's on bye. And then I got Mims, Dante Thornton, who's not a thing, QJ, who might be injured, and Andre Yoshivas, who's bad. So it's not. I really need QJ to play, right? Like, because I need Amon-Ra. Mims is so hit or miss, and if QJ doesn't play, I'm gonna have to use a score from like Yoshivas, and that is absolutely brutal. And then tight ends, I think I have the edge, even though I only have two. I think Kelsey and Kraft I would take over Jonnu, Jatavion, and Higbee. There's definitely a world where like both my tight end scores get played. We'll see. We'll see. It could be tight. It could be tight, but if I can't beat this running back room, I just don't deserve to advance because he's literally going to use two scores from Brian Robinson, Ramondre, and Dylan Sampson, and so he has two backups plus Ramondre. That's mine. I guess if people cards on the table, if people want to see the full portfolio of what I've got, we're advancing, 23.13 teams. We're expected to advance 20% in total. So we're running ahead of expectation. The worst for me is probably the big board where I'm only advancing 14.7%, expected to advance 25. That's not too unexpected for me. I took a ton of swings on rookies and I missed on a lot of them. BBM though, going well, advancing 30 teams. Badge Bros Brawl, 46 of 120. We are more than double the field in advance rate. So doing really well over there. And, having a good year. Some of the higher dollar stuff, the bigger board, we're getting 2 of 4, which is good. That's $100 buy-in. Our Huskies, these are $40 buy-ins. We're advancing 8 of 10, 4 of 9. So feel like we're having a pretty good season over in best ball land, although nothing is settled. I'm very light on Rashee Rice. So I could definitely see this advance rate dip if Rice goes off and some of those Rice teams start passing me in some of these pods, but we will see. Sladen says you need to win running back big to make up for wide receiver. Nice, you have a huge tight end. Yeah, I think that's totally right there. No, DL high. I was I thanks for who was the first to let me know? Who was the first? Yeah, Gunnar Ross, true friend to the program, letting me know. I appreciate it because I'm sure I'm going to listen back and be like, oh no. So thank you for telling me. FF Chef, I advanced 4 of my eliminator teams into week 7, all 100%. All are healthy and what they appear to be winnable matchups. All you can, yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I've gotten lucky with the health. The only one I've lost is Garrett Wilson for a couple of weeks. I mean, how many neighbors teams, how many hill teams, and now kind of Buka teams are really hurting. So it's a very tough format. You definitely need some injury luck to go your way. All right, let's see what the dog bowl's at. Let's see what that's. Oh, let me change tabs. Waiting for 6. Okay, I'm gonna hop out of this because as Mythology noted, it took almost an hour to fill this morning. So let's hop into main BR in the meantime here. Waiting for 2. If anyone wants to get in this one, let's get on in. All right, we are at 53 minutes and 30 seconds. All right, there we go. We are off and running. Let's see who we get into here. Steven says, yes, I thought my computer was about to call. I'm actually working with Apple support. We're doing this so that they get more business. We're trying to increase their call volume. But no, I apologize for that. It is annoying because I had no indication that anything was going wrong there. We got Fantasy Grinder in here. Fantasy Grinder absolutely dominating this year. He won the main BR 4 weeks ago, I think. Punched a ticket to the Dog Bowl. He was on a Neil Orfield's stream together with Mythology. Fantastic watch there. The Flannelverse Neil Orfield's show is great. Fantasy Grinder, a terrific guest there. And so he is now at the 101. So we'll watch what Fantasy Grinder's doing because he is a very sharp drafter. We got Sladen in here as well at the 4, and I'm at the 3. I don't think I see anyone else. I will note one thing. You don't see this all the time. This little red fleck. I don't know how big what you're watching it on. This is my favorite swag. I don't know what they call the accessory you can put on your thing. The little red dot on Captain Sand's nose is, I think, you have to play in some Christmas contest. You get the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Dot. It's not a dead pixel on your monitor, but it's I wish I don't actually have access to that one, so I've never been able to wear it, but I do find it I do think it's funny. I do think the little reindeer is fun, especially in like June, like just rocking the Christmas theme year round. You love to see it. I took A-Chain here. Nothing too out of the ordinary so far here. Best Ball Alec, hey, GM to you. I'm behind on the stream, but I see we're in the same battle royale. Oh, nice. Yeah, I believe Best Ball Alec is Fantasy Grinder. And by believe, I mean that is Fantasy Grinder. So good luck to you. Appreciate you coming by and hanging out. Glad to see you in the room. Sometimes it's a hard to sync up the BRs because they have a tendency to fill fairly quick. I'm deciding if I want to do Odunze over Lamb again or take Jaden Daniels. I'm gonna be light on Daniels. Sladen makes a decision for me, which is good because we just did an A-Chain Odunze team, so we'll do an A-Chain excuse me, an A-Chain Lamb team. I think if Daniels falls to me, I'll grab that. I've been having a little bit of issue with Daniels. He hasn't been running quite as much, with the knee injury. I feel like he didn't really run as much as we were expecting last game. So if we're not getting the same rushing upside we're signing up for, I have a real trouble taking him in the top 10. So we'll see. We'll see how much we end up with. That might be like a soft fade this week. We're coming back up. We got A-Chain and Lamb. Lad's not as fun with with QJ seeming like he's coming back. I feel like that ADP is a touch high. I like Krosky Merritt, not just because I have Lamb. We'll do Krosky Merritt here. I think that's fine. So we'll go A-Chain, Krosky Merritt, Lamb. Maybe we'll try to build a lesser owned stack after that here. Steve-O Speak. Hey, Steve-O, one of the good ones over on the Fanspeak Network. If y'all don't sub to Fanspeak, you should. Steve True Ball Knower, great guy. Appreciate your support, Steve. It's going great. We're ripping some BRs here. He agrees, though, which is great. Mahomes QB1, Daniels closer to Dak. That's kind of my thought for this week too, Steve. And I like that Mahomes you could play a couple ways. You can play with Rice or Worthy or Kelsey or unstacked. Like you can get a little creative with your Mahomes. Sladen notes he just did Lamb. Yeah, it's so easy to build the same team over and over and over. So I'm with you there. Hey, the what one of the good ones with the thumbs up. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out. I was like, oh, we'll do a fun stack, but then like Dak's here. I'm gonna take Dak. My issue is this: if Dak Lamb is what you need, he's gonna be with Krosky Merritt a lot. Like if this combo is what you need, I'm gonna be like 3v3 against 2,000 people. So it's like so hard to win that. Now, obviously, if that's what you need, then I don't want to have no bullets where I'm trying to win that. But it's like, this is this is like a kind of a tough spot. Because this is just going to be such a common. This is going to be such a common build. So we'll see what we do. Maybe we need to get different at tight end and receiver here. I don't know. Slayton says, yeah, it's weird to me how Daniels was boosted way up compared to Mahomes, who's running, and Dak, who's been on fire. Yep. Yeah, no, I agree. I've had a really tough time taking Daniels where he goes, especially in the dog bowl. I've seen him go at like 3 and 4 in the dog bowl. And it's like, man, he really has to separate. And I just have that said, they are playing Dallas. I mean, if you're gonna separate, that's probably where it's gonna happen. All right. Good God. Excuse me. I'm dying here. All right. I know I like Kraft the most. I'm running out of time. I feel like Worthy's not quite enough of a scroll, but now I'm starting to get cute. All right, let's do Shaheed. Maybe this is a touch too thin. Maybe this is a touch too thin in the 6 persons, but we'll give that a whirl. I think we've now gotten like sufficiently unique to where I don't have to worry about dupey stuff. I think most Shaheed teams are probably going to be opposite Caleb teams or opposite Odunze. So we'll try to get a little different there. There's no reason he has to be played with those guys where he's going to be played with a lot. Slayton takes Burden and Harvey go for the. I feel like Shaheed is kind of like taking Burden, like same concept, same game. A guy that people aren't going to take into 6 persons, but is kind of fun. All right, Herbert goes. What tight end do we want? I think I've gotten unique enough to where I can grab Fannin here. I like the Fannin bet a lot, regardless of whether I have A-Chain. I think this team's kind of fun. Dak, A-Chain, Krosky, Merritt, Lamb, Shaheed, and Fannin. But we only really had to get crazy at one spot. And, Fannon's not going to be 100% owned in this. So let's see what other folks did here. We had Slayton goes Judkins, Odunze, Ladd, Sutton, Kraft, Herbert. So he builds the Herbert Ladd stack there. Gets a bunch of players that I'm into. I like the team there. Slayton, Fantasy Grinder. He scrolls also. He scrolls down to Golden. I like that. I like that team here. Jonathan Taylor, Javonte Williams, Trey McBride, and then Drake May Diggs stack at the 4-5 turn with a scroll down receiver in Matthew Golden, who does have moonshot upside. Maybe Golden is better than Shaheed. I feel like Golden has that game that game breaking upside, but also might be slightly more involved in the, I don't say day-to-day passing, but in some of the other easier higher percentage stuff. So yeah, I like the team that Fantasy Grinder put together. I think he was sharp here because these 5, this is not like, nothing here is particularly unique, but then he got a scroll down receiver who's going to be under 20% owned. So I like that. There, the Gale says someone's going off versus the Bears. My money is on Shaheed, Taysom, dark horse. I could see that. Yeah, we were clicking Taysom last week, and he scored a touchdown. Didn't do much else, and now I have not seen him drafted. I've seen him get talked about, but I don't think I've seen him get drafted. Steven asking, do you like Olave? Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. Yeah. I think he's clickable here, but I was really trying to go for someone that's going to be like significantly lower owned, and I think Shaheed will be, half as owned here. Stevo says I could see it being a Kamara game. Stevo, I have been embarrassingly enough taking Kendre Miller in dog bowls with the Dennis Allen as the D coordinator of the Bears narrative that might only exist in my head. But I do feel like they've got to want to just shove it down that guy's throat, especially with how badly he treated Kendre. I don't know. That's probably wrong, but we were starting to take Kendre like 2 weeks ago. There's always the possibility that Kamara could get moved. Although, again, it sounds like some cold water's been thrown on that. I don't want to do that in the 6 persons. I think that's too thin. But with the 66th click in a dog bowl, I'll take a punt. I'll take a little punt there. Steve says, Bears run D less than desirable. I could just see flashes of Kamara hit this week. Yeah, and I see the same exact thing, but with Kendre. I mean, I see him with a fair amount of juice. Yeah, it's still like 60-40 split for Kamara and Miller in snaps. Yeah, I guess I could see that changing by the end of the year, and maybe I can get ahead of that. But again, there's a reason that the pick comes with a heavy disclaimer of do not try this at home. This is probably bad, but we're gonna try it. Slayton, my issue with Taysom is Rattler's mobile enough, they don't gain as much with Taysom under center, and Miller's been decent enough, they don't gain enough using fullback Taysom either. Yeah, they don't seem to be using Taysom as creatively as they were last season. So I agree with you. And like you said, they haven't really needed the Taysom wizardry, and nor are they really attempting it to any degree. So that one was fun. That was a fun draft. Appreciate you, Alec, for joining. Appreciate you, Sladen, for drafting there. I like the teams that y'all constructed, and now we're waiting for two in a dog bowl. So if anyone wants to hop on in. If anyone wants to like and sub, I would appreciate that. Arguably even more. That would be awesome. We're on the road to 300 subs. We have blown past 250. We're so excited to be hitting some of these milestones. It's been so cool to grow the channel with you all. So, and now we're off. Now we're off. So, give me one moment here. And they said it couldn't be done. They said we could not get a 101. And here we are. We got the 1.1. We've got a Jonathan Taylor team. This is good news. Go AZ Cards. What this week, what player could smash? And we're overlooking. The first name that popped into my head is so random, but it's Devonta Smith. Just because he randomly smashes and nobody ever talks about him. That's somebody you could take in the 6 persons if you want, but like, I'm dying here. I got another cold. I don't think I've taken him in the 6 person, so maybe I should if I'm going to answer the question like that. But I guess I'm including myself, and we're overlooking. I think I've taken him in a couple dog bowls. I'm trying to think of who else we're talking. Yeah, the what was thinking of Smith. But I feel like you could say that every week. He's just kind of like, when you think of the Eagles, you think of Hurts, you think of Saquon, and then you think of AJ Brown, and it's like, oh yeah, they also have this other guy who randomly will just put up like 25 half PPR points, and you're not surprised when it happens. So I don't know. FF Chef thinks it's Trey Tucker. Well, it well could be. I mean, Jacoby Myers cropped up on the injury report, so something to keep an eye on. Scatabo 1.1, live up to the thumbnail. No, I have plenty of Scatabo. I have plenty of Scatabo on this team, unfortunately, or excuse me, in the portfolio. So we don't need to pull him up here. That said, he sometimes falls. Like, I've seen him go at the 2-3 turn. I actually think he went at pick 24 last draft, last dog bowl, go AZ card. So we'll see if he goes back there. Let's check who's in this room. We got Fantasy Grinder here, Alex. So he's rewarded with the 1.2. He takes Josh Jacobs, go AZ cards, pulls Javonte up. Very interesting there. I can't say I even disagree with it. Javonte over, Judkins went at 3. A-Chain is fallen in this draft. A-Chain's available at the 8, and he normally goes in at the 3. Justin Jefferson, oh my God, someone's going to get A-Chain at the 9. Why am I on the left side of the board the one time? The one time. Daniels goes in the first round to the Gale at 6. B. Miller takes Jefferson at the 8, which I haven't really seen happen since I've been doing these. Oh my good golly. A-Chain is available. This person's winding the clock, so we all have to watch them do it. Just all right. So A-Chain goes at pick 9. Okay. As a Vikings fan, I think people overlook. Yes. See, Brian the Goober. I like the Javonte click. Yeah, Brian, I can't say I disagree with that either. I find myself there feeling like it's a very flat tier after Jacobs. I think my third favorite is Judkins. I think the Dolphins defense is so bad. A little bit of concerning, like Judkins' usage, but I do think against Miami, when they're probably going to have a positive game script, they're favored in the game. I think he's still going to get the majority of the higher value touches in the game, which are going to be like all the touches. Like Steven says, Burden might be an interesting pick late if Moore's not playing. Yeah, I've seen him go in in the dog bowls for sure. He has gotten a little bit of steam. I've seen him go undrafted as well, but he is getting picked. Steven says, I think adding Smith to a few teams is a smart idea. Yeah. Again, don't go crazy. Don't go crazy with any of those scrolls. I mean, until he showed up on the injury report, I kind of like Jerry Jeudy just picking on the Dolphins. He had like 13 targets last game. He's not drafted in the 6 persons. He's drafted. I think he was starting to get drafted in most of these dog bowls, but now that he has the Q tag, we'll see. We'll see if that continues or not. I also don't think Jerry Jeudy is very good. Like I'm kind of a Jerry Jeudy. This is not a Jerry Jeudy channel, but I will say there's a time and a place for him, and if that actually exists, it's probably against the circling the drain Dolphins. But I have abandoned Separation Score Twitter because they were just so wrong on Igbuka, but they have always hated Jerry Jeudy. And I think they continue to say like this guy is ass, and he's dropping the ball. So we'll see where we will see where they are at. But if ever better days were ahead for the Browns pass catchers, it would be this week at home to the Dolphins. Although apparently there's potential weather, which is always fun. So something to keep an eye on. I tend to think you're better off literally just never looking at the weather, because you're more likely to not play a good play because you get scared than like avoid a bad play because the weather's bad. It's so rare that the weather's bad enough to actually impact it. Like you need high winds, like super torrential rain, or like snow and ice. Like it's normally fine. It's normally fine. The Gale takes Scatabo at pick 19, so we don't get our guy wrapping around. We should get at least one good running back we're interested in, especially with some of these players over here going receiver. See a few wide receivers sprinkled in. Jordan Mason is unfortunate because Go Easy Cards gets him. That's who I would have preferred to come to me, but he does not. So let's see what the room has in store for us. We got 2 picks ahead of us. There's 3 running backs that I can see until literally you get down to Alvin Kamara. So we'll see if one or both of them is available. Drake May goes. That is fairly good for us, because that means we will get we'll have a little more choice in the matter of who we're taking here. I think it would be a mistake for me to pass on the one of these backs. I just don't know exactly who it is I want to take, how I want to play this. Fantasy Grinder. He winds the clock before taking Trey McBride. Man, I don't know if I want to take Waddle. The trade rumor stuff kind of scares me that I'm eating a 0. I haven't done this. I have not done Dobbins Sutton, but I'm kind of intrigued. I'm a little bit intrigued by this. So let's do Dobbins is not my favorite click, but I don't mind getting a little of it. And then Sutton. So we're going to double stack Denver. This could easily be a Bo Nix team. This could be a Jackson Dart team on the other side, or a receiver to be named later. But I don't think we're too afraid of the Giants defense. We're all very high on what the Giants are doing. But if they fall back to earth in Denver and they get shellacked, that wouldn't be the most shocking outcome ever. So we'll do a Dobbins Sutton double. Probably won't have any kind of Giants bring back unless we decide to do an unstacked Dart as a bring back, which he's generally available. But you never know. Some people do take him. Fantasy Grinder going McBride Warren. All right, Alec, I see you there. Something I have been saying is not good. Somebody who is extremely sharp does. So might be time for me to reevaluate some priors here. So very surprising to me to see, but far be it from me to tell Alec that was not good there. So McBride and Warren goes to Fantasy Grinder here. And we'll see what Go AZ Cards brings along. The What says, so many QB plays this week, it's hard to narrow it down. Yeah. No, I agree. The What, and that's what I like about this slate is there are quarterbacks who are not drafted every time that are actually fun to stack. I felt like last week was not, and last week was not my favorite week. I think Mythology said this, and so did Nez, I think. Both that like last week was a super chalk week, and those weeks are going to be hard for people who like to scroll and build different stacks and get different with like last week was not the like 25% owned stack that won. It was the Giga Chalk just smashed and got home. And those weeks I don't like either, because even if you have that Giga Chalk, you then have to like get the other pieces exactly right, and it turns into like I said before, that 3v3 versus 1,000 lineups. If I'm in a 3v3 with the nuts, I want to be against like 20 or 30 lineups who have also built that combo, not like half the field. Half the field's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. Like, you don't want to be running up against the same start a million times, and then you just have to like nut out with the rest of it. It is so hard. Oh no, best of all, Alec, I lost service in the subway and had both tight ends queued. I in my head, I said this might have been an auto draft, but like I'm like, Alec is so sharp, like I don't want to be like, oh, it looks like you auto draft, and then you're like, no, I was trying to do that. So I didn't say it, but I was like, oh, that's brutal. That's brutal, Alec. Well, it is possible. Those tight ends are so good. They could keep pace with the other receivers in that range. I suspect you would have rather taken Swift or Vidal there, would have been my guess, but I don't know. Maybe you're fine with Anchor running back and going with 3 receivers, but I was surprised. I was surprised to see that. I'm sorry about the auto draft. That is brutal. But hey, you're bullying the room at tight end. Now tight end is going to be a lot thinner for the rest of us here. So we saw Drake May go at pick 22. We see Diggs go over on the other side of the universe at pick 37. Go AZ Cards. Forgot who it was, but I saw a sharp take Swift Vidal at the 1-2 last night in a dog bowl. So they started with, who did they start with? Daniels or like Lamb or Jefferson? I have not seen that. Because I assume they didn't start their draft with either of those players. But I like Vidal. I think I've been taking Vidal over Dobbins, but I wanted to do this Denver thing that I don't have, that I think could be kind of a combo people are not super interested in. Oh, at the 1-2. Sorry. Yeah, not 2-3 turn. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't mind that. Go easy cards. I think that's fine. I am, because those guys are never coming back to you at pick 36. So if you want them, you're going to get them paired with some different people. For me, I would have trouble taking Swift over Scatabo and Mason, maybe because in my head New Orleans is a little tougher against the run, and I know we just saw Swift be good, but I'm like, man, it's hard for me to adjust my priors that much and say that. So we see Shaheed go at pick 43 in the dog bowl to the Gale. That is it's a game stack for him with Swift, but again, Shaheed, one of these game breakery type players. Don't mind taking him, and especially now, he's going to fill out his team with a quarterback and a tight end. So like, there's no problem taking a guy like ahead of ADP, because you have to fill out your roster with the 6 people you need. And if he's got I guess he already has a quarterback. So there you go. I missed that, but one of those picks is going to be a tight end, and it probably has a late receiver lined up that he's into, or late running back. All right, we're coming back around. Some interesting decision points for us here. Herbert would be here. I wish I liked Keenan Allen more than I do. I'm really not that into Keenan. I like the Fannin bet. Judy with the injury is a little dicey. All right, let me actually queue up Herbert. I know we talked about maybe Knicks just makes more sense, and this is Galbrained. All right, I'll do Fannin. Yes, I think Fannin ahead of Kelsey for me, and then I did miss on Devonta Smith, huh? He's not there. All right, we're gonna take Fannin as one of our tight ends. And then maybe worst case, maybe we'll just play the Q tag game. No, do I want to double stack against Miami? I don't know if I like that. Scintillating stuff you guys are being exposed to here. Scintillating stuff. You know what we're going to do? I'm going to take a page out of Fantasy Grinder's book. Let's take Alec Pierce here. Let's take Alec Pierce and get a couple pieces of Indy here against the Colts. Kind of a weird start to this team. We're taking 2 Denver. We're taking 2 Colts. I don't know. Maybe, I think if I had to redo it, here's what I would have done. I would have taken Herbert there. I would have taken Herbert and Pierce and then taken Gadsden to end if I could redo what I just did. So I kind of thought of that after I'd already queued up Fannin, but I am fairly confident I will get one of Nix or Dart here to end this team. But I don't know. I think I kind of screwed that up a little bit if I'm being candid with you all on how that went. Pat Moore poker. I was in the lobby. It was Crutches. Okay. It was Crutches. GM. Hey, Pat Moore poker. Thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. Yeah, Crutches knows what he's doing. So if Crutches is doing that, I do not mind that. Go Easy Cards, not going to lie, I took Vidal in my next draft. Yeah, I certainly like the Vidal click this week. I think that's kind of nice there. Again, maybe if I did this Pierce thing, I should have taken Vidal instead of Dobbins, but this is almost like I had 2 ideas for a draft and I kind of combined them into one Frankenstein team. So, this might not be the shipper, but maybe someone in this room is doing better. All right, let's see what Fantasy Grinders got. He goes Jacobs, then had the Subway auto draft of McBride Warren, and it goes Keenan Allen, Daniel Jones. So he gets Jones with Warren queued up there. Go AZ Cards. He takes Travis Kelce on his team. So he's got Javonte, Mason, AJ Brown, Justin Fields, and Travis Kelce. I like the team. I like Justin Fields in this 4th round. The much maligned Justin Fields, but obviously is still capable of that nuclear upside. Other notable things, for some reason, Jordan Addison doesn't have a picture. Don't know what happened there. Kind of odd. Never noticed that. But Jordan Addison, for some reason, does not have a thumbnail photo in the dog app. And yeah, these are the friends of the Gales. The Gales in here. He's got Daniel, Scatabo, Swift, Shaheed, and Ertz. Like the Ertz pick, like pairing him with Scatabo there. Go AZ Cards, elite tight end. Who would do such a thing? Definitely not a dog bowl qualifier or BR winner. The double elite tight end. Well, you know what? If Fantasy Grinder wins a seat to the dog bowl with this lineup, you're going to see the rate of double elite tight end like quadruple next week because everyone will. People not watching now will not know the lore of the Subway auto draft, and they'll just think that's the new meta. All right, so literally everybody but CG has a quarterback except for me. Kind of weird. He takes. Oh no! Why'd you take Bo Nix? To do something else, CG. I'm like, I only have to dodge one person. Welcome to the crew, Jackson Dart. So this is going to be a Jackson Dart. This is going to be a Jackson Dart team. We're going to have to wait for all the picks to go. Very unimaginative over there, CG. And then I like look at the option. It's like I really can't believe he didn't take Cam Ward. So I guess that's on me. Alec Pierce probably wasn't gonna get drafted. I got too cute. I kind of screwed this up, but um, maybe I don't know. Maybe we just get really gross. Maybe we just get really gross and we queue up Dylan Gabriel. I don't know. Is that too gal-brained? I think that's too gal-brained. Gabriel Fannin against the Dolphins or unstacked Dart. I mean, part of me feels like at this point I screwed this team so badly that that maybe we take a quarterback that's going to be like 5% owned. I just think that might be vaporizing too much projection here. I don't know. I feel the pressure. I feel the pressure right now to do something a little wonky because we kind of fouled this whole operation up. And I think Jackson Dart is going to be like he's QB 13, I think. So he's going to be owned on a lot of teams unstacked. And maybe truly if Denver is stomping them and J.K. Dobbins is running out the clock, then nobody on the Giants is getting there. And if I'm going to go short the Dolphins, maybe it's via Dylan Gabriel. I mean, he threw the ball 52 times last week. So they're not afraid to let him loose. Now, did he do anything with those? No, he put up 8.84 fantasy points. We're doing it. This is gross. Don't do this. This is probably bad. We took Dylan Gabriel to pair with Fannin. So this team is Jonathan. We got the one hole finally. And then I don't want to say we dropped the baby now because I have a small child and so that, hits close to home, but we certainly let the baby slip. The baby's okay. We have Jonathan Taylor, J.K. Dobbins, Cortland Sutton, Harold Fannin, Alec Pierce, and Dylan Gabriel. Okay, let's see what some wiser people did. Fantasy Grinder, he goes Jacobs, McBride, Warren, Keenan Allen, Daniel Jones, Matthew Golden. Go Easy Cards gets loose too. You love to see this. Javonte Williams, Jordan Mason, AJ Brown, Justin Fields, Travis Kelce, Josh Reynolds there. So I've heard legend of people taking Josh Reynolds with Justin Fields. Obviously, with Garrett Wilson out, Josh Reynolds is now the number one wide receiver there. So I cannot hate the process there, Go AZ Cards. I think that's kind of fun. I think that's more fun than going Alec Pierce, Dylan Gabriel to end a team. So who am I to judge? We do see Trey Tucker get drafted in this team. I don't think I see anything else super noteworthy. Michael Carter getting drafted. I don't think that's great. I would rather take a punt at receiver or even Bam Knight. I don't love the Michael Carter stuff, but I mean, he'll be super low owned. Anyway, tough scenes. Slated noting that Addison's hiding from Carson Wentz. Joel suggesting, yeah, well, I mean, they could have just used the mugshot photo if they were going down that road there. Joel, hey, GM drinking bleach. Appreciate you. Yes. Evergreen that I am, that I have a cold. It's so brutal. I love the little guy, but I keep getting sick here. Chris noting Bo Nix is going to nuke because the only QB I face in the eliminate. I was trying to get Bo Nix. I was one QB away. And, CG, instead of taking Geno Smith to stack with Michael Mayer, for some reason took a quarterback with actual upside. Can't blame him there. Someone had to do a slop it up game stack. Well, we both answered the bell for a slop it up. Fields, Reynolds, and Gabriel Fannin. Those guys, they could go head to head in a slop it up. Like if there was some kind of slop it up WWF tag team match, I would put those two together. Yeah, babies are resilient. That is true. I just don't know if dog bowl teams are. It's the problem. Single pieces of the top two scoring games and a slop it up stack. Yeah. I like your team more than mine. Go AC Cards. I don't know what to tell you there. That one got away from me. I don't think anyone goes live at 10 today. I'm not sure. Let's see. I don't think Pete comes on today until he has the bash at 3 and lulls at 1:30. I just want to make sure no one's like starting right at 10. I don't think like ship chasing's I don't think that's coming on today. And then I just want to make sure I'm not sure when no, they're not on today. And I don't know when Davis is going live. Davis is going live at 12:30. All right, so we got clear air here. We can run. I was planning to do another battle royale, but I feel like I gotta try to redeem myself. If this is close to filling, we'll wait it out. Waiting for 5 is not really close to filling. All right, let's do a main BR. Let's cleanse the palate. Unless I'm gonna hop into main BR, but what I would like from you all, let me know. Would you rather see a prime time slate that I have not looked at whatsoever? Because I can do one of those next. We could probably stream for a little bit more today, so we can get to everything. But I feel like people tend to not love the primetime stuff, so I don't want to do it if people are going to just are like not interested. All right, so we got the one hole this draft, so a little bit of redemption from the one hole. Go AZ Cards notes DBQ. Yes, I know the people do love the DBQs, so I'm definitely gonna run one more today. I think I want to try for my streams to do three DBQs on stream, and maybe sometimes we'll do 4, but at least 3. But if people do want to see a primetime one, we can hop into that. The Gale noting there's no time slot. That is true. The Gale, that is true. But those guys have also given Pete and Davis have let me advertise on their respective platforms that I'm going live, and so I do try to be respectful of that. And also, frankly, I like to I like to watch their shows. I know a lot of you do too. So I usually feel like if I've come on at 8:30 and I get to like 10:30, it's I start losing my voice at a certain point here. We got Jonathan Taylor in at the 1, jumping the DBQ, waiting on 3. Oh man. I'll see. I don't want to end up multiing. For both myself and for the viewer. So we'll see. Go AZ Cards if I get in the next one or not. It seems like they're starting to roll slightly faster at this point. So all right, we got Jonathan Taylor at the 1. I don't think any friends and family in here. Patrick Barnes YouTube, who is in literally everything, at the 3. He gets Josh Jacobs. Patrick Barnes YouTube, of course, was in the Dog Bowl last year. I think he finished pretty highly as well, if I remember right. Sharp drafter, high volume drafter, but also I think he autos sometimes, so it's kind of hard. He's one of those guys that it's hard for me to like truly try to keep an eye on to see what he's doing, because I don't know how much is intentional and how much is just like building off ranks. So we'll see. But regardless, he's in the room here. We see Jalen Hurts go at the 4. Haven't seen that yet. Two, of course, not beating the no Badgers do weird stuff allegations. We see a no Badger takes Hurts at the 4, Justin Jefferson at the 5, which pushes Saquon to the 6. I should get some kind of value with Hurts going at 4, being that he, his ADP is in the mid 20s. That will push at least one pick of value to us. We'll see precisely what that is. I mean, Lamb goes. So Patrick Barnes YouTube is going to get Judkins Jacobs probably, because once Laporte takes Hurts first, I feel like he's not going to just take Judkins there. So he's probably going to pass on Judkins and give Patrick Barnes YouTube a true GM start. That's my prediction from having done a lot of these. But you never know. He might just take Judkins and play it straight up from here. But what does he do? He takes AJ Brown. I can't believe this guy just got Jacobs Judkins. I would love a Jacobs Judkins team. I would absolutely love that. But poor Nez was in the room when someone built a super team and won the last BR. This feels like this could be happening to me, where Patrick Barnes YouTube gets like a combo no one else gets, and I get blamed. All right, let's see. Let's do Rome. I think I like Rome Javante a little more than Pickens. Although if Pickens gets back to Patrick Barnes YouTube, he'll have ADP 2, 6, and 8 on his team. And then I'm gonna be Nez 2.0, but I just like don't really want don't want Pickens here at this price. We'll see what happens. Jets, please take Pickens. Oh no. Oh no. Patrick Barnes YouTube is getting the super team. Oh god. Oh god. It's all happening. It's all happening again. It's all happening again. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. You guys see, I'm drafting normally. I'm drafting normally. Oh, all right. Let me put the timestamp. I didn't put a timestamp so that we can see this. BR3 Patrick Barnes super team question mark. Yeah. All right. I'll do a clickbaity. I'll do a clickbaity timestamp in there. Oh my god. Well, all right. Let's see what happens. Zach Ertz doing some. Or excuse me. Jalen Hurts doing some weird stuff. I called this guy Jalen Hurts. It's actually Naporch who took Jalen Hurts, but we'll see what we end up with. We'll see what we end up with. All right, Rico. He's also going to get Rico Dowdle at pick 22. Like he's going to get so much ADP value. They're just going to like cancel this. They're going to cancel this draft. Oh my god. Oh my goodness gracious. All right. Well, I like my team. I like Jonathan Taylor, Romo Dunze, and Javonte Williams, but we have quite literally a super team. This guy's not going to take Dowdle either because he doesn't care about ADP. He just has like a team he pre-wrote, and now he's going to take. Let's see what is he going to do? He's going to take like Jordan Mason. Like he's going to build like some game stack here. I don't know. I would be stunned. Oh no, Patrick Barnes can't take Dowdle. Okay, good. Okay, good. He can't get all the ADP value on the planet. Steven says he got the perfect spot between two no Badgers. Yeah. Yeah, I mean he's really and Debo's a little bit of ADP value. I mean, good golly. Good golly. All right, we're up. We're up. What do we want to do? How do we fight? How do we fight this super team here? I kind of like Drake May. Drake May seems good this year. I mean, do we do May Diggs? That's going to be super common. I think let's go May Waddle, and then we can decide if we want to do Hunter Henry or take just leave May unstacked. I think I'm fine with that. I actually really like this team. May, Taylor, Javonte, Odunze, Waddle. I mean, what we're dodging with this team is Waddle getting traded midweek and then eating a swap. But if Waddle stays put, I really like him as the only game in town in Miami. But if Waddle gets traded, people should probably be picking up like Malik Washington and possibly Westbrook Ikeen in fantasy. I would be picking them up if you have if you have deep benches and they're not owned, because it is possible one of those two sees a big bump in targets when Waddle is traded, if there is actually smoke there. That would be my my season long advice to the people here. Steven noting, I love May this week. You can have him unstacked. Yeah, I think I'm gonna lean towards unstacked. I do like I do like Hunter Henry this week. I've done a little bit of Henry May, but he had that spike week like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he's been kind of quiet since. So I'm not like prioritizing that, but I think he's not as owned. Like remember that week, the week after he went nuts, he was 100% drafted, and now he's, what is this? 5 tight ends have gone, so he's tight end 9. Like he's not taken that much. Steve-O says, I think the Patriots put up 35-42 against the Titans. Yeah, that's the Vrabel run up the score steam is definitely in play. It's definitely in play there. All right, 1 DBQ. I'm gonna hop into DBQ. If I'm fast enough, I'll hop in, because this timing's gonna line up good. All right, we got it. Thanks, Go AZ Cards for letting me know. We'll see what spot we get. We'll see what spot we get. We'll wrap this draft up Let's scroll at tight end. Let's do Gadsden. I think Gadsden's kind of fun. Not going to be very highly owned. I don't care that he's opposite Taylor. That's just people will look and see that if this team does turn into anything. So we got Drake May, Jonathan Taylor, Javonte Williams, Romo Junze, Jalen Waddle, Oronde Gadsden. Kind of fun team. Kind of a fun team there. Patrick Barnes, what did his team end up being? So he did a Lovecraft. Man, his team. I just don't know if I love and Jacobs. I feel like he kind of fumbled the bag a little. I don't think I would have done that with that Giga GM start. I don't think I would have added Love to that team. But now we get pick 11. We get pick. This is the fantasy gods punishing me for that atrocity I put together at the 1. Is making me do this. All right, let me see. We're at 130. DBQ3. All right. All right, so we're in at the 11 hole yet again. Steve noting Henry and Diggs are fine as super scroll down for Booty. I have such a tough time getting Booty this week. It feels so. Sorry about that. It feels so chasey. Mathology at Steve, do you think it's a Stevenson or Hendo this week? Steve says, I would hope Hendo, but all the stats usage expect point to Stevenson. I'm playing a little of each. I have not had the courage to click Hendo in dog bowls, but I wish I was such a man of courage because he is for a team we think is going to smash, pick 68 equates to being undrafted most of the time, I believe, in dog bowls. I think more people would prefer to go 3 receiver than Hendo as a second one. But the booty call was so bad, Chad Candles blocked. No, I just had a sudden onset sneeze and didn't want to deafen the people. That was that was what it was. That was what it was there. Let's see who's in the room though. Go AZ cards. Everything just works out for him, right? First of all, he gets a pick on the left side of the board. Secondly, someone takes Saquon at 2, so he gets Jacobs at 3. I mean, my God, people. Could we get much more run good? And then we got Mathology here at the 9. Patrick Barnes, he's everywhere all at once. He's at the whatever pick that is, 7, I think. D-Rap. I feel like D-Rap qualified. This is a name I think is pretty good player if I remember right. And now we're up. What do we do? What are we doing here? This is that spot yet again where we have to decide. I mean, do we take Justin Jefferson? I don't have much Justin Jefferson. I just don't really love him with JJ McCarthy that much. Yeah, Jaden Daniels goes. I'm just going to keep taking Odunze. I think Odunze is the one receiver I feel like could keep pace with those giga running backs early. I don't know why. Maybe this is bad and I'm just going to lose everything this week. But let's do Odunze. I like Mason. My problem with Mason is there's going to be Odunze Mason teams that also got like an elite first round pick, so it just feels like not the best. Let's just go weird. Let's do Mahomes. Let's do Odunze Mahomes. Let's try something here. Maybe we get Worthy on the wrap. We're going to try to go either one running back. We're going to try to scroll at running back. We're going to get a little loose here, I think. We're going to try something. We just tried something at the 1, it didn't work. We're going to try something at the 11. Maybe this doesn't work. I don't know. I don't know. I do think, as we talked about earlier, Mahomes should be the QB1. So I'm going to gamble that I got the wide receiver 1 and the QB1. I'm going to play it like that, and that I can catch up at running back later. So we will see. The Gale asking, are you in these NBA best ball streets or just NFL? Just NFL. I used to do NBA in up to like 2019-ish. And I don't have the time to keep up with NBA anymore, and so I don't do it. But I respect those that do, because man, NBA is tough with the late scratches and the rest games, and it's you've got to be so on top of it. You've got to be so on top of it, and I just don't have the time to like play it with any degree of quality, I think. Go easy cards. I started a trend. Javante at the 1.4. If you want to do good, don't do what I do. Hey, I like Javante at 4. I think that's perfectly fine. I think it's perfectly good. Now, some of these people I don't think work. I see them in rooms 24/7. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Steven. There are definitely people who are able to put down huge amounts of volume. I know there's people that are comfortable autoing quite a bit of volume. I'm just generally I'm generally not going to auto. The only thing I ever autoed was like the little Dalmatians. Other than that, if you see me in a room, I am. And I also don't really multi-table. Some people multi-table really well. I don't multi-table well. I gotta be locked in. So if you see me in a draft and you ping me on Discord, I'm not going to be like, oh, I was in 7 drafts. It's like, no, I was probably paying attention to you. I saw you in there. Steven noting, I mean, Odunze should have had a monster week last week and likely no more against the Saints defense that allowed Booty and Pop Douglas to go nuts. Yeah, I love Odunze. I have been taking a ton of him, and I'm trying to just build different teams around Odunze this week. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, he's been my answer to the to not getting picks in the top 4. Steve, stop saying booty. We don't want Chad to mute himself again. I'm actually hoping Miss Candles keeps. Miss Candles is mercifully is at work, so she doesn't have to hear any of this. But yeah, she'd probably be wondering what the hell I'm doing in here, muttering about not liking booty. Be kind of alarmed. All right. Let's see what happened. Go AZ cards. He gets Mason at Mason Jacobs is to me is a very nice way to begin the contest here for Go AZ cards. Methodology goes Krosky Merritt and then gets Pickens. It's nice. I like taking Pickens now at his new ADP because he just got it in so much better than the people who were taking him like in the first round when we thought Lamb was out. So I like the Krosky Merritt Pickens. He's got an instant game stack. They're definitely live to end up being the Dak drafter if he chooses to do that. Although, with Lamb going at 6, I suspect Jasta 29 takes Dak, but you never know. He does need a running back. So he might let that pass. We'll see. We'll see what he does. Go AZ cards. He takes Tyler Warren. We see one of that final tier of Dobbins, Jacobs, and then Mason go. Remember, we saw Scatabo go the first dog bowl all the way at pick 24, and then those 3 running backs go later. This time we see Scatabo pulled up to 17, and then Mason, Dobbins, and then Vidal. Vidal unlikely to make it back to me. If he does, that is what they call a podium pick, but I do not think that's going to oh yeah, Swift. Swift is the one I left out. I have no doubt that both of those guys will go. So Josta does not take Dak there. Patrick Barnes makes the fastest pick I've ever seen Patrick Barnes make in taking Vidal. And now we will see what the room decides to hand to us. Methodology on the clock here. We'll see if he does the Dak bit or if the position players are too valuable. Curious to see how he handles it, because this is not going to be an uncommon situation. I could even find myself in this exact boat here. No, he takes Worthy. Oh, he takes Worthy. Worthy is who I would have taken there to stack with Mahomes, but that is fine. We shall overcome. This will simply be the unstacked Mahomes team. And we just have to be okay with that. I mean, am I just being dense not taking Kamara here? I just don't really like Kamara. I'm just like very, very lukewarm on that. I think my preferred pick will be Diggs. Let's get a piece of this New England potential onslaught. We're not the Drake May team, but I think we can do that. So let's do Diggs. Let's do Diggs here. And could I take Travis Kelce and force the stack? Sure. But I think I would rather push tight end till later. We're also on the right side of the board, so we should have more choice of tight end than, say, on the left side of the board. You see a lot of elite tight ends go over here, which does put them in a position where they don't have to wait on your Michael Mayer, Jordan, or your Michael Mayer, Mason kind of range of tight ends. They get the elite ones over there on the left with the way the ADPs kind of shake out here. Tet McMillan's interesting. I don't have a ton of Tet. I mentioned Devonta as a possible sleeper. We could go 3 wide receiver there. Maybe it's wrong to pass on Kelce. Maybe we go Fannin. Could we do Ramondre and Diggs? I don't think Ramondre comes back to me. I don't know if Pacheco comes back to me. All right, you know what? I don't think I have enough time to look at this. I don't think I want. I actually think I'm going to take Pacheco. I think I'm fine going Mahomes Pacheco. I like the late tight ends enough to get home. I think I can figure out another running back or receiver late. I know I'm sacrificing a certain amount of combinatorial value, but I do like locking up all the touchdown equity in Kansas City, or most of it. Of course, Kareem Hunt is gonna eat my lunch, now that I've made this team. But I have some late tight ends I like as much or more than Kelce this week. I have talked about liking Kendre Miller. I probably can get him at 59. I would be shocked if he did not come back to me. I know I'm on an island with that pick, but I think we could potentially get that. Oh, Methodology, you have said make the best team. I hold no ill will towards that. And you were right in trying to push Dak there, because obviously you had 2 drafters already with a quarterback and somebody for whom Dak didn't make a lot of sense. So no worries. I thought it was a tier break too. I mean, that's why I was going to take Worthy there. So no worries there. No worries at all. Go Easy Cards preview for the Dog Bowl finals. I did a single 12 entry for the flea flicker and finished second to last. Oh no. The flea flicker, I believe, is the $75 single entry 12-person tournament, which I will probably start doing those, because I think it's a somewhat small field. Let me see, what is the flea flicker? Flea flicker 12-person, 144 entrants. So that's the Dog Bowl is 108 teams. Everyone drafts 3 times. So yeah, what is it? 2,000 to first. All right. I'll probably end up in the flea flicker streets. I think that's good. I think that's a great idea. So I'll do some of those. I can't promise that'll be on stream, because those are probably going to be weird to fill, but I hear that. No, methodology requires no apologies, but appreciate you, Go AZ Cards. I was hoping to do a worthy team, but you can't. I think, what is his ADP? Isn't it like 30? Like, I think it's like exactly 35. What is it? 37. So that's, I mean, that's like, it wasn't like he like reached to snipe me there. All right. Go Easy Cards, do it on a Saturday to get a feel for Dog Bowl draft. Yeah, that's a good idea. It sounds good. I am very much hoping that this cold subsides by Saturday. So we'll see. We shall see. On Saturday, I have the privilege of being on After Dark with Pete. So I hope I am not blowing my nose on Pete's stream, because Pete has high production values. Now, while this stream does not, there's a certain level of professionalism expected, and we're gonna try to meet that. But my God, it's been tough here. All right, let's see what folks are doing. So Go AZ Cards, he takes Devonta Smith there. Obviously, we talked about him before. Opposite Jordan Mason there. I think that makes a fair amount of sense. Like that team that Go AZ Cards is putting together. Methodology, he does successfully push Dak around, so he gets the Pickens Dak stack, Krosky Merritt on the other side, and Xavier Worthy I mean, that's a nice team. That's a team I would not be upset in the slightest to build out of the 9 hole there. So nice job there. Travis Kelce finally goes, I think, a little bit past ADP at pick 50. So now the first 4 picks all have tight ends over there. We'll see how many tight ends go before I'm up. Looking at to my right, D-Rap and I are in the same exact boat. Both have 1, 1, 2, 0. So we both need tight ends. I'll probably take a tight end first, unless I'm like really agnostic as to which ones come back around to me there. Looking at the board, I'm a little surprised that nobody has taken Ramondre yet. I have to imagine he goes in these next 2 picks. If not, the next one up would be. We have a lot of people with only one. We have 4 people with only one running back before we're up. So I would be a little surprised if he made it to us. If he does, I think we take it. Oh yeah, Kamara was still out there. Kamara goes pick 53. Makes sense there. Go AZ Cards. He takes Bo Nix. Yeah, Go AZ Cards didn't really have. I guess I'm a little surprised. Go AZ Cards. You didn't take Daniel Jones. I was checking to see if Daniel Jones was out, and he literally just went. So mildly surprised you went with Nix over Danny Dimes. I'm wondering if you're going to end this team with like a Franklin or Mims, if that's your plan, or you have some other pick. I'm going to be keeping an eye on what you do at pick 70. I am a little bit curious as to the plan. Patrick Barnes takes Jerry Jeudy. We are coming up. There are a lot of very good tight ends here. So, we could potentially take Travion. I have not been taking him, but he is, if we do buy the blowout script, maybe it's so dire that they run him. I mean, we have Steph Diggs as well, so we could potentially just like load up that game. We'll see what Mathology does. Jordan Addison's still out here. Jordan Addison's kind of a nice fall. Now Mathology grabs that. That makes sense there. We'll see what A Tran does. I mean, these tight ends are also good. I will take a running back before. I just have to choose. If he takes Ramondre, I have to choose between Travion and living my my Kendre Miller play that I've been over invested in. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what A Trayan does. He takes Fannin. I think I just take Ramondre. I think I take Ramondre, and I basically all I did was take them out of order with Pacheco and Ramondre. I actually like this team. I think if you're going to take 2 late running backs, Pacheco and Ramondre, you could do a lot worse. Building out a big team bet on New England, building out a team bet on Kansas City. D-Rap, I have to imagine D-Rap takes Dallas Goedert. I'll be shocked if he doesn't. I don't think I want to take Henry also. I think Henry Ramondre Diggs is, giga overstacking. We could. I don't think that's horrible. I don't mind Ertz. I don't mind Waller. I don't mind Mason Taylor. A little bit tough of a decision. Yeah, big Ertz week, Debo, DNP. I mean, I kind of like Zach Ertz. Dallas's defense is really bad, and we did see Ertz kind of return to what we expected. Michael Mayer would be opposite the KC stuff, but I think I'm more inclined to just snag a little bite out of the of this game. Zach Ertz did, of course, cost me a big cash this year in the main DR when he got me 0 points, and I was 20 points behind first. Like I could have used a few points of him, and I top 10 the BR, but alas. So this team ends up being Odunze, Mahomes, Diggs, Pacheco, Ramondre, and Ertz. Yeah, I like this team. I think this team is perfectly reasonable here. D-Rap, he ends his team with Wandale. I don't mind the Wandale click. I think some of us are overly afraid of of defensive backs like Sertan and that, I think sometimes we can get a little too in the weeds, and defensive matchups don't always line up the way we think they think we do, unless you're really hand in the dirt. I think sometimes we have a tendency to avoid good players with what we think are bad matchups, and then the matchup, like, it doesn't actually shake out that way. So Mythology takes Waller. I like that click there. As we noted before, Atran doubles up and goes Fan and Henry. So you see that. Maybe he was watching Alec earlier and decided to catch the wave. Yeah, go AZ Cards. I should have taken Booty. Yeah, we definitely could have there. Steve agreeing with that potential shout. So Mythology's team is Krosky, Merritt, Pickens, Worthy, Dak, Addison, and Waller. Yeah, like that. This Josta fellow, he ends up doubling up on Chargers with Allen and Gadsden, but no Herbert. So kind of a funny room here with some of these picks. I'm very curious as to who Go AZ Cards takes. We're gonna keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on that, and then I'll hop into another main BR or two, and then we'll probably get on out of here. But appreciate y'all doing this. This has been so much fun. We see Trey Tucker go. I like that. That almost feels like who Go AZ Cards. He does take Troy Franklin. All right, we predicted it. Bo Nix, Troy Franklin backstack for a second seat for Go AZ Cards. So yeah, people are simply not drafting Troy Franklin in a matchup that we perceivably like against the Giants there. So yeah, Nix Franklin going to be very low owned combo there. So his full team for the audio listeners, Go AZ Cards goes Josh Jacobs, Jordan Mason, Tyler Warren, Devonta Smith, Bo Nix, and Troy Franklin. So fun draft there. Mythology, Go AZ Cards, appreciate you drafting with me. I think I like the teams everyone assembled. I think they all tell a different story, and hopefully one of those is enough to book a seat. So that would be really cool. All right, let's hop into a main BR. And we are full. So if you're in the overflow, you've got time to get out. I apologize if people wanted to get in this one. Oh, Easy's in this room. Easy, very sharp drafter. Member of the Badge Bros in the Deposit Kingdom. Also hangs out in the Slappy Central Discord. Super sharp drafter there. So we'll keep an eye on Easy there. Go 1.2 last round Hubbard. I like it as the flex. Yeah. Come to think of it, that is a name maybe we should be sprinkling in late. That is something I have not done, but definitely should consider more. Thank you for making mornings fun. Hey, Go AZ Cards. Appreciate you hanging out. Appreciate you making these, helping make these streams what they are. They would not be as much fun without drafting and chatting with you guys. So thank you, Go AZ Cards. All right, let's see. We are 10 seconds to lift off. We'll probably call it after this one, but maybe we'll do one more. Maybe if I set some phony arbitrary goal that I won't actually hold you all to, we'll get to it. What are we at? 33 likes. All right, can we get to 35 likes, and we'll do one more. All right. I wanted to put the timestamp in. All right, 2:03 BR3. All right, sweet. All right, so we see Justin Jefferson go at the 3. He gets pulled up. My preference would be Judkins, but I don't think I could pass on A-Chain at 5, because then there's a chance we get Barkley, and A-Chain Barkley is going to be hard to get. But I'm okay passing on Saquon for Judkins here. I think that's fine. I think I'm going to continue to try to make this Romo Doomsday week. I am okay if this week I'm just wrong, and maybe this is not my week, but if I'm right, I'm going to have lots of different combinations of who I really think should be the wide receiver 1 on the slate. And I know it's crazy with Jefferson because he should be the wide receiver 1 on every slate. Man, McCarthy's not looked very good. McCarthy did not look good when he was out there. So I'm okay playing it like this. Or at least, if taking Odunze ahead of ADP, I don't know if I would. If Jefferson was there at 8, I'd probably take Jefferson. But just ending up overweight on Rome is not going to be something I'm upset about. And I'm trying to take him in various forms, both with Caleb and without. And in single, smaller entry stuff, I could consider double stacking. I wouldn't mind Caleb, Odunze, Burden stuff. Caleb, Odunze. If you really want to get clever, Zacchaeus, I don't think I'm there. But, I see the vision for those who are. Just in the main BR, I have a tough time thinking that's going to score enough points to get home. Easy, he takes Daniels and then McBride. So he goes Taylor, Daniels, McBride on his team. It's a strong start there. McBride, I don't think he's going to rise too much if MHJ is out, but he could creep up a little bit. He could, tend to not fall. He falls sometimes. That could stop. He could just kind of be a bit harder at his harder to find rooms with value if MHJ is out. I would have taken Javonte there, but we do not get that. Now the question is, do we want to do elite tight end? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do elite tight end. We're going to do a lot of non-elite tight end. We'll take Tyler Warren, and then let's see what we want to do on the bring back here. Waddle not bad. We just make this a Drake May team. Maybe unstacked, maybe a May Diggs team, and then we scroll at wide receiver, or scroll at running back. I think I'd be fine with that. So we got Judkins, Odunze, Warren, and May. If Steph Diggs comes around, probably take him, and then we can try to find a late running back we like. If Diggs is gone, I'm okay with that as well. Jake noting, I have so much JT Rome, I'm getting nervous. It is hard for me to not do that, but yeah, it does. I don't think I want every Jonathan Taylor team to be tethered to Rome because maybe Rome doesn't get there, or things happen, players get injured, etc. And Jonathan Taylor goes nuke, and you just you have 0 Taylor Lamb teams or 0 Taylor Pickens teams, and that's the combo you need. So I certainly want to make sure that I'm not going nuts, but yeah, that's a pairing. I feel like I probably have the number 1 running back, and I probably have the number 1 receiver. The way I'm kind of seeing the week. How many teams have you Scatabo teams have you drafted today? I don't think that many. Have I taken Scatabo on stream yet? Did I take him once? I don't know. Yes, Steve, I agree. Deepest tight end week in the season for BR. I wholeheartedly agree. Yes. Yesterday, someone asked what I thought the theme of the week was, and I said I think it's tight end week. There are so many tight ends in good spots. It makes taking the elite tight ends hard for me in both the 6 and the 12s because I'm just happy with a lot of the late options. I do want to vary it because Tyler Warren is just so good. He's almost like a wide receiver there that I don't want to have no Tyler Warren because sometimes tight end looks good and then it's just oh yeah, we remember why tight end is awful. But yeah, I'm gonna do a lot of late tight end stuff. Is the depth at tight end because no tight end is really separated this year? That's a good question. Let me stew on that for a moment. Is this guy and I have no overlapping anything. He can't take a running back or receiver, and I'm going to take one of each. So I can take whatever order. I'm going to do Diggs. Do we want to do Diggs Mason? Maybe Diggs Vidal? Let's do Diggs Vidal. Let's scroll down for Vidal this draft. And try to get different. So the only reason I hesitated because I have Warren, and so maybe people that scroll would do this. I could do Mason as well, but I don't want to go out of my way to not correlate. game stack. So let's take Vidal here. We'll go Drake May, Quinshon Judkins, Kamini Vidal, Romo Dunze, Steph Diggs, Tyler Warren. I think this is kind of a fun team. We're going to have this May Diggs is going to be somewhat popular, but we did reach for Odunze a bit, and then we scrolled for Vidal. So I think we might have differentiated ourselves enough in this pairing to feel somewhat different. I don't know, Go Easy Cards, because we've seen the big tight end spike, but I feel like the guys at the bottom are playing like receivers, like Fannin is essentially a wide receiver. So is Gadsden to a degree. And then the usage for some of the other guys, like Waller's red zone usage had been so good, and Hunter Henry's had a big spike week, and Mason Taylor now without Garrett Wilson, like the situation's improved for some of these guys. Like Mason Taylor, the situation seems dramatically better. Like who else are they going to throw the ball to? Michael Mayer might be an improving situation if Jacoby Myers is limited. Plus, he's still depressed in ADP because he was the backup and Bowers is out, and he still hasn't like really adjusted. I mean, 7 targets last week. Like, I don't know. We know they like to involve the tight end there, and we know Michael Mayer had a really good pedigree, and he's the tight end 11. I think there's just a lot of good tight ends. Steven says, my take is so many tight ends are in good spots this week, and some have been sharing roles. Have it Solo, Fannin. I mean, we aren't even talking about Evan Ingram in a revenge game. Yeah, great matchup against a D that got killed by Goddard. I agree, Steve, and I just wish the snaps and stuff were better for Ingram. They're so brutal. Like he plays less than 50% of snaps, so it's like it's so hard. But yeah, I guess that is a revenge. I in my head that's a Jacksonville's the revenge game, but I guess this is one step removed from when he was back on. Feels like he was on the Giants 1,000 years ago, but I don't know if they've played since then. I honestly can't remember if the Jags played the Giants in his tenure there. So this could be his first game back. All right, let's see what Easy did before we get out. He took Jordan Mason. He took Mason too. So Easy goes Taylor, Daniels, McBride, Brown. He does the McLaurin Daniels stack, adds in a scroll of his own. So if you will look, you were in a draft, no Scatabo, no Genty drafted. So, I mean, my God, this is a fun week. You can do a lot of cool stuff. It's less about the revenge, maybe more Giants. Steve is one of the great ball knowers. So I think I do like to be able to distill your very good opinion into like, oh, you're just going with the revenge narrative when I know that's not what it is. Steve, you autoing that WC. Oh, multi-tabling. Yeah, see, people I'm not a multi-tabler. What's the WC? What's the WC? What am I missing? I'm getting FOMO. Well, either way, I'm not sure what the WC is. All right, let's see. How many likes did we get to? Do I even want to know? This never works for me. Every time I'm like, I hit a number, we don't actually get to it, but we'll see. Let's see. 38. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. All right, you know what? 38 likes. For 38 likes, let's see if the dog bowl is going to fill. All right, 38 likes. You guys got another dog bowl out of me. I thought I was only going to get 35. But because you did that, we will do the Wildcat. The Wildcat, gotcha. Yeah. I should probably do more Wildcats because I feel like you do get more like ADP faller. Like people are experiment more. So if you can, I feel like I've just seen more like, I don't want to say super teams in the Wildcat if you're willing to like stick to it. So I don't know. Maybe I need to hop in the Wildcat streets. But either way, we were the 12th into the dog bowl. So I will timestamp this. I will conclude the stream after this one, but really appreciate y'all's support. This is really cool. We get a fourth DBQ in here. Unfortunately, we were the 12th in, and we did not. I don't see the friends and family in here, but I do like to draft at different times throughout the day because you get different players in the room, so you end up with different teams. But I do on stream like to draft with all of you. So hopefully we can carry the torch and we can build a good team here. We see the rare no badger at the 2. You don't see a lot of no badgers in the Dog Bowl streets, but Dan the Man 1 has wandered in, and we'll see what Dan the Man puts together. We're at the 8. Not sure I want to play it from the 8. If it goes straight up, if nobody does anything weird, I think the 8th, I think pick 8 is actually Jaden Daniels. So I don't really like Jaden Daniels. So that puts me in that weird boat of pulling somebody up or taking a Jefferson or Lamb there. So we'll have to see what we do. But hopefully we get some kind of value. I mean, I would love Javonte, but that feels like it'd be a big ask for Javonte to fall to 8. But all it does is take somebody who wants CD Lamb or Jaden Daniels. But so far we're not getting that. We're simply not getting that that kind of ADP miracle here. I think I'm okay trying from the 8 hole to leave with 1 running back and 1 receiver, though, because I think on the wrap, you probably can get one of that Vidal, Swift, Mason tier. So Judkins goes, I don't love Brees, but I really don't love Brees, but I will take him. I don't really have much. I actually feel like Carolina's kind of hard to run on. Maybe I would have preferred Lamb and then a wrap running back. I don't know. We'll take the shot on Brees here, but not necessarily my favorite start. I think they're going to lean on Brees heavily. I'm just afraid that offense could just be putrid against Carolina, but we'll see. I mean, the one thing about Carolina is Bryce Young is not very good. So we could see some short fields for the Jets. I know they have not been capable of producing turnovers, but I think they like forced 6 fumbles and they recovered 0. Like they're running bad and I feel like their defense isn't amazing, but they're also like running super cold with some of the turnover luck. So, if we just kind of get a normal luck from there, maybe we get some short fields, maybe the Jets can put a little more together. Yeah, Denver's a tough ask. I did think about taking Odunze. I was hoping he'd come back, but he didn't. That's okay. We're going to end up with lots of him. I don't want to build the same team on stream every single time, but we'll start with Breece Hall. We'll see who comes back. Something like Hall Dowdle is not terrible because that was impossible to get early in the week. So, I think how much of this contest is full? 36% of the contest is full. So you're getting a combination that, early in the week no one had. Now it might be bad. Like if it's a split. So maybe we don't want to do that, but we're not going to get the chance. Dowdle goes at 13. We got Genty, we got Mahomes, we got Scatabo. Who do we want here? So Genty goes. So we got Mahomes or Scatabo. Man, this is let's go back to Mahomes. Let's go back to Mahomes and see what we can do. We're gonna try another Mahomes team. I think from 32 I can probably get Worthy. The only problem I'm running into is I might get one of these running backs I like a lot, and then I'm not gonna get. Then I'm gonna have to choose between Worthy and that running back. And I'd probably take the running back and then just eat unstacked Mahomes, which I'm okay with. If I have to take unstacked Mahomes, I think that's actually fine. But I don't think I'm going to get my choice in two. Yeah, Scatabo versus Mahomes is so brutal, Steve. I do feel like Scatabo is fine this week. I know people are scared of Denver, but just the role and usage is so good. I'm not really that fussed about it. But if I look at my let me see. Go to my completed tab. So how many? All right. So I think I thought I did more than 25. Gosh, it's so annoying. It doesn't update. You have to manually refresh. Why is it not refreshing? It's so like why can't I just see my exposures? 25 team. Okay. So Scatabo is my highest exposed running back. I already have 36% Scatabo, so I'm fine varying that a little bit here. Um, these are my exposures. I got a lot of Scatabo. I mean, I'm doing this Kendre thing. I'm not just doing it as a bit. I'm putting a little bit of money where my mouth is here, and then Pacheco. And I guess I've had more Jacobs than I thought because I've I've got 4 shares of Jacobs. So running good in that. Four out of 25 when you only get the 12. I should only really be expected to have 2 Jacobs teams by now, and I have 4 of them. So we'll see. One of those Jacobs teams though, I vaporized as you all watched with this just like god awful Dylan Gabriel team that I put together. So we're only going to count 3 Jacobs shares because one is dead. Yeah, sometimes you need to refresh it 3 times. Yes, it's like a troll. I gotta ask it 3 times, and then it'll give it to me. I don't know why they coded in a bridge troll into the Underdog UI, but there we are. But either way, we've got yeah, Scatabo goes all the way at pick 24. Mason has flipped him here. My goodness. So there is a reasonable chance Vidal is gone. I think he's the last running back. Oh, Dobbins is still there. Would be surprised. One drafter already has 2, so they can't take a running back. But I've got to dodge 4 people from taking 2 running backs. I got to dodge 3 people taking 1. I would be surprised if CG is. I think he's kind of a value hound. If I remember his tendencies, I'd be very shocked if he didn't get past. Plus, he already has Lad, so you could just build a Charger Mega, which I would love to. Which I would really like to get. I think that's kind of a fun start if you can do that. Hopefully we do get Worthy. If I get sniped on Worthy, I will be mildly irritated. I'm not gonna lie, because this will be like 5 picks ahead of 6 picks ahead of ADP where I'm taking him. So we'll see. If we don't get Worthy, what do we want to do? Sutton would be fine. Sutton would be fine, but I will be hard to hide my disappointment if we don't get this here. So let's optimistically put him in the queue. I'll put Sutton in the queue after. So Steph Diggs goes. Not enough value on Sutton to pass. So we'll make a Mahomes worthy start. We got Breece Hall. Again, if somehow Judkins had fallen to us and I had Judkins Mahomes worthy, I would be pretty excited. But that's not what happened. So let's see Patrick Barnes YouTube on the clock. He takes Dak to pair with Lamb. Makes sense there. I'm so used to having friends and family in the room. It feels weird just on my own here. Just on my own. But all right, Tucker Craft goes. That would have been somewhat nice here. Just hey, so we do have friends in the room. Jasta29, thanks so much for joining and hanging out this morning. I see you in at the 5 hole. I like the team you've got with Javonte, Waddle, and Vidal. I think that's nice. 24 drafts in, 1 Jacobs, 1 JT, no Jacobs. I think I've gotten pick 6 10 times. Yeah. It's weird, the RNG. One of my Jacobs shares I know was from the 4, if I'm not mistaken. Like he randomly fell, and I was pretty happy. Like it was very early when the Daniels ADP was all wrong, and he was at 3, and someone took him there. I mean, not that it's like I don't want to say it's wrong to take him at 3 because you can't get him at 22. So if you want him, you got to get him, but you don't really see it as much. With people doing a lot of teams, they generally, you're going to get some Daniels, and if you want the early part of the draft, you probably should be taking some of the other guys. I see what Patrick Barnes. I wouldn't hate going Tet. Is this a game environment I want to target Carolina, the Jets? No, it's not. But I do have the chance to actually target a game environment, and that's kind of nice. I also could do Kelsey and do a Mahomes double. I think I would prefer Mahomes naked to a Mahomes double, and maybe that's wrong, but I'll do Tet McMillan. You know, great volume. I know Sauce Gardner. I'm not scared of Sauce Gardner. I don't think that's really a thing that we're truly frightened about like we were a few years ago. So we'll do Tet McMillan. It had a weird game. It had 2 touchdowns, and then I think he only had like 17 fantasy points. And then games before, he's been a yardage monster with no touchdowns. If we put it all together in the 4th round, we got a hell of a pick there. But again, that game could be vile. That game could be vile. That Jets Carolina game. But you know what? Sometimes you got to stack these games and hope for the best because Vegas gets it wrong, and games we shoot out could end up doing well. Hey, Aaron JH GM, I did not know you were in here. You are at the 4. And speaking of the gross game, you took Justin Fields. So you've got A-Chain, Mason, Olave, and Fields. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all coming in and drafting here and hanging out, doing some of these dog bowls. It's really fun. It's definitely fun having, seeing the community, because there's so many of us who do this, and we all hang out in the Discords and in the chat. So I appreciate y'all coming and joining today. And yeah, and good luck. Good luck. I'm not sure if either of you have punched tickets or not, but if you have not, best of luck in getting there. Because and if you get there on stream in one of these streams, let me know, because I would love to capture someone getting on stream. Somebody got a dog bowl seat in a room I was in, but I was unfortunately not streaming it. I saw a draft board of a winner, and I was in the room, but it was unfortunately not one I'd caught, but it would have been cool. Oh, there we go. Week 2 winner. Congratulations. That's awesome. Jasta 29. So good job there, man. That is so cool. I will see you in Kansas City. That is so awesome. I'll make sure to say hi, because you all know what I look like, but I don't know what most of you look like. Especially when with the default YouTube avatar there. All right, so we have got Jalen McMillan, Xavier Worthy, Pat Mahomes, Breece Hall. So we still need a tight end. We still need one more skill position player. It depends on what I care about most. Only one tight end to my right. So at least 3 are going to go off after I pick. So if there's somebody I'm truly, truly invested in getting, I probably need them now. I have just been out on Kamara, but maybe at pick 56, that is a price I am willing to buy on. Ramondre Pacheco. So I don't hate this. I probably will take one of Kamara, Ramondre, or Pacheco, whoever's left, because Jasta can't take one. So let's see what Tyler and CGE leave us with. Rojas talks Tampa. Hey, GM to you. Thanks so much for coming in. Morning time dog bowls has to be the best way to kick the day off. That's what I'm saying. And I'm glad I get to kick them off with all of you. That is awesome. That is awesome. Thanks so much for coming in, Rojas. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. And yeah, would love to see some more of y'all in the dog bowl streets here. Aaron's 0.6 back from a deep. Oh no. Oh no. That's so brutal. Because yeah, if you were, that yeah, I don't, you watch, what happened with BTJ. I don't need to rehash it, but that stinks, man. That is so close. I hope, it sounds like you're over the target. It sounds like you've got a good process. I mean, your team here makes a ton of sense already. So Zach Ertz goes, do we take Alvin Kamara? And I think the answer is no. No, we just say Kansas City smashes Las Vegas. We double Kansas City. We go Mahomes, Pacheco, Worthy. We, I know I said I didn't want to double stack, but Pacheco's a little bit of a different beast than taking another receiver. Pacheco obviously does catch a little bit, not a ton. I think Hunt gets more of that. But, if we think that the Raiders get smashed, then maybe this is just overstacking an offense with the best quarterback in the league. I if that's wrong, then I'm going to be wrong a lot, but I'm going to fire that in and see where we go. So we got Mahomes, Hall, Pacheco, Worthy, Tet McMillan. Again, are we running the risk of getting Kareem hunted. Yes, I think that Brashard Smith is hurt this week. And now we're in the position. Do we want the Michael Mayer bring back, or do we want the just Dallas Goedert solo? Patrick Barnes YouTube needs a tight end, so he might make the decision for us here, unless he takes Mason Taylor, and then we have the decision still. So let's see. I mean, part of me likes Michael Mayer. I think if Jacoby Myers is like ruled out, we're going to see Mayer rise even more. He takes Evan Ingram. All right, let's do Michael Mayer. We will just buy this, buy this game as the game we need. We'll say Kansas City smashes, and Las Vegas is only effective moving it via the tight end position. So this team ends up being Breece Hall, Pat Mahomes, Xavier Worthy, Ted McMillan, Isaiah Pacheco, Michael Mayer. So we basically bet on 2 games. We got Kansas City versus the Raiders, and we got Carolina versus the Jets. So yeah, I like this team. I think this team, I will tell you when I think my teams stink. I think that one team I built from the one stinks out loud. I think this is actually a good team. So it's kind of the yin and yang. You get the full experience here. I will tell you when I think I messed up. All right, let's see what our friends are doing. Jasta is winding up his team. He's got Javonte, Waddle, Vidal, Pittman, Nix, and Goddard. Yeah, I mean Goddard is last round tight end pick. I feel like is undervalued. And had I not really been trying to just focus on 2 game environments, I think Goddard clearly a great pick there. Unstack Nix, that's fine. Nix, I think we've learned almost any quarterback can be taken unstacked in this year's dog bowl, the way people are playing things, but some rushing upside against a defense we're not afraid of. Let's see what Aaron did. Aaron, A-Chain, Mason, Olave, Fields, Fannin, and Trey Tucker. So again, playing the other angle of the Raiders. If Jacoby misses, could see a ton of Trey Tucker. If Jacoby's in, we've still seen Trey Tucker get home. So I like the Trey Tucker at pick 69. I think that's a nice value that you got there. So again, both of you all went unstacked quarterbacks, Fields and Nix respectively, and I don't think there's any reason for critiquing that. Josta was surprised that Ingram didn't fall to me. Yeah, I was surprised Patrick Barnes took Ingram. I thought he was going to take Goddard or the other guy. The other guy I thought he was going to take Mason Taylor. I thought he was going to take Goddard or Mason Taylor, and then he took Ingram, which was a surprise. So yeah, that makes sense. If you were setting up Nix Ingram, you weren't dodging that many people taking tight ends, and Ingram is a scroll. So that was a little unlucky if you were trying to build that. But I think Goddard as a consolation prize could be one of those like, oh, I got sniped and it benefited me. You never know. But yeah, it is annoying when you're like, oh, no one's going to take this guy. I don't have to worry. And then it's like, well, I guess I did have to worry. I will say, if you really want to nitpick, everybody to your right had a quarterback. So you could have taken Ingram first and then ended with Nix. But it's so rare that 7 people all have quarterbacks. I probably would have just taken Nix and done the same exact thing. It's a lot easier after the fact. But for those of you newer to the format, you can look at the positions to your left and right depending on which way the board's going, and see if people need or don't need positions, which one to push. But honestly, again, I probably would have just done it in that order too, because A, I wouldn't have to worry about Ingram, and B, I don't know if I would have recognized that there were no quarterbacks. None of these guys could have taken quarterbacks, but appreciate all of you. I think the people in the room put together some great teams. Josta, Aaron, thanks for drafting with me. Yeah, no, I would have just I don't think I would have seen that in the cold light of day, or I guess this is the cold light before either. So yeah, it's just one of those things that I do highlight for people who don't play a lot of these things, that they can look at when we see those examples, when those examples come up. But again, I appreciate all of you so much for coming in and hanging out. Y'all are the best. If you can, drop a like, drop a sub on the way out, put a comment after it. It helps so much. Hartman woke up late, still caught a Chad draft. Yeah, we went 2 hours, 34 minutes, which is long for the stream, but love to do it with all of you. Again, I will be on tomorrow. Appreciate all of you, but take care, everyone. See you later.